Morning everyone, and welcome to Nat 1. Today we're doing something a little bit different. Usually we do a little D&D one-shot of a Wednesday evening, but this time we're doing a bit of Call of Cthulhu. We are doing the Lightless Beacon tonight. A lot of us, except Jason too, are very unfamiliar with Call of Cthulhu, including myself. I've only recently started getting into it. And yeah, so we're going to give it a try, see how we do. And so I'm Jenna, I'm the keeper tonight. And if I was a monster, I would love to be a ghost, because I could then fly around and float through walls and stick around forever and haunt people. Let's introduce our players tonight. First of all, we have Peach.
Hello, it's me, Peach, Sasha, whatever. I will be playing Constance, who I've just found out is a marine biologist, so that's going to be interesting. And also, I guess if I was a type of person from the 1920s, it would be a flapper girl.
But if you were a monster, what would you be?
If I was a monster, Yog Sothoth, or however you say his name.
Alright. Who are you passing
there
to?
you go. I'll pass it to Andrew. I'm passing the torch and carrying.
Torch grabbed. I'm Andrew. I'm going to be playing someone I've just found out is an antiques dealer, which is coincidental because his name is Anthony Teeks. You know, antiques. This is a funny joke. You'll get it on the ride home. If I were a monster, I would probably be an ancient elven king. I don't know why so specific, but I'll probably be a mummy. Gonna smash cut to Jason too.
Why, hello, everybody. My name is Jason. I am playing somebody who's apparently a private investigator / bureau agent. If I was a monster, I would probably... Can it be a D&D monster?
It could be any monster.
Could even be an ancient elven king.
I'd probably be a chimera. I'm all over the place like a chimera.
Ooh. Nice.
And take it away, Kate.
I'm Cade. I will be playing Cecil, who I'm told is an artist. And if I were a monster, I would be a werewolf. Because it's, the best of both worlds.
For real.
Brilliant. So, this group of people found themselves tonight on the SS Essex County, heading towards Innsmouth on the choppy Atlantic Ocean. It is April 12th, and it is... let's have a look here. Where's the date? April 12th, 1926. April 12th is quite an ominous date to be travelling on the Atlantic Ocean. But yes, you are...
What happens April 12th?
It's around about the Titanic time, isn't it? So yeah, you've been travelling in the very choppy seas. The ship has lilted and sort of smashed things inside. People are getting scared in there, and you can see sort of like on the horizon, through as the sort of water like sloshes up and crests down, you can see that occasionally the blink of this lighthouse through the windows of the lounge room that you are currently sitting in is oscillating and revolving as your stomachs churn with the turn of this boat, of this passenger vessel. People are quite nervously holding on to tables and chairs, eyes wide, very nervous and shaken by the sudden lilt from this storm that is raging outside.
As Simon is he as he hangs on, he shouts out to the people, All right, everybody. Settle down. Everything's under control. And he starts, the people that fallen over, he starts helping them up and things like that. And after he's done, he goes up to Tony, and you see a man in his late 50s with a chiseled jawline and gray hair go up to him and say, hey, pal, what do you think you're doing? I haven't seen you on this ship before. How are you, sir? Can I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah, sure. You can ask me a couple of questions. I ain't really seen much of you either. What's your name? I'm Tony, by the way.
Simon then pulls out his badge and flashes it at Tony. He says, I'm doing an investigation on... you wouldn't happen to know anything about smuggling, would you, buddy?
Hey, sir. Hey, smuggling? This is a bit of a strong opening here. I got no knowledge of nothing going on in this ship. Do you suspect there's something? Are you asking everybody, or is this targeted at me?
I'm sorry, officer. Where is this an appropriate question? I don't understand how you feel like a sudden shaking of a boat could be attributed to smuggling.
He cuts you off mid-sentence and he's like, ma'am, what I'm doing on this boat is none of your concern.
It simply is, because I'm on this boat, and what you're doing seems incredibly rash and dangerous.
Business with the government is not to be discussed with civilians. If you have an issue with it, take it up with my supervisor.
Well, you're clearly discussing it with this civilian, or am I to believe he's not a civilian?
Yes, because he seems... And he looks at Tony when he says this. This man is obviously hiding something. I'm not sure what, but he's sweating. He's sweating. He looks suspicious.
Yes, it's very warm in here. Excuse me, I'd like to speak to your commanding officer.
Yes, that will all be done in due time, I assure you. But for now, what is your name, ma'am?
It's none of your business. It's Constance. Constance Boyd. Not Charmed.
I gotta say, I do agree with Constance over here. I think did nobody else just feel the whole boat shake? I guess I'm sweating over here because I'm nervous, I don't really boat a lot.
It was quite dreadful, really. Maybe you're being too harsh on him.
And besides, if something nefarious is happening on this ship, as you seem to think it is, wouldn't it be in the best interest of all of us to know?
Precisely. This can't be such secret information.
All right. Jesus. Okay.
Were they smuggling waves?
If you must know, I'm tracking down a vessel. You guys, any of you aware of Rockport?
Rockport? Why, yes.
Yeah. Yes, a vessel down there went missing in around early February, and they put me under it to find things out. Now, you wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
The vessel near Rockport? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know nothing about it myself, but I don't think you're going to be finding no missing vessel on another vessel.
What about you, Cecil? Do you know anything about a missing ship near Rockport?
I'm on my way to Rockport, but I don't know anything about a missing vessel.
Oh, I'm on my way to Rockport too. But I suppose we're trapped. And Tony, are you on your way to Rockport?
Yeah. I'm on my way to Rockport too.
Oh, well, it seems we're all travelling to the same location. How curious.
What are you traveling to Rockport for, if I may ask?
You asking me?
Yes, that's a good question. Who are you asking?
Constance, why are you traveling to Rockport?
I had a sneaking suspicion you'd be asking me. After all, you did just say why you were going, officer. And Constance, I'm going to describe her now. She's this sort of well-dressed woman. She's wearing like a fur coat and like a fur hat, and she's also got like one of those long, like smoking things. And she's just like taking it. She takes like a drag as she before she answers, and says, "Well, I'm actually a marine biologist. I'm studying the local flora and fauna in the area. I'm actually writing a paper on it. That is why I am going down there to do a little bit more research, and I think one more trip ought to do it, and then I'll be a doctor of marine biology, of course."
Oh, fascinating. I see. So you must be rather well acquainted with beaches, the ocean, things of that nature.
Quite.
Tell me, which sea creature would look best painted in a brilliant watercolor painting?
I would have to say... a manta ray. After all, I don't think I've ever seen anyone paint a picture of a manta ray before.
Cecil, I'm gonna describe him now. He is in his early 30s, tallish, classically handsome, but in like a very understated way. Seems to consider this really strongly before eventually taking his hand and going, but how would I catch one? No, that won't do at all. And you, Tony, why are you going to Rockport?
Me? Well, me, I'm Tony Teeks, proprietor and owner of Teeks Antiques. So, I got an old buddy down in Rockport, says he got something I could probably get a lot of money for. So, I'm
perhaps
just
it's
going to check that out.
Perhaps it's a missing antique boat, she says, and she looks over at Simon and raises her eyebrow.
Well, I assure you, if I get presented with a boat that's hot, that'll never make it to my shop. I'll come right back to you, Mr. Officer Simon.
I was only pulling your leg.
yeah. So it's a funny one. Tony looks a bit nervous through beady little brown eyes. I'll take this opportunity to describe him a tiny bit. He's got like a sallow, thin face. He's all in brown. He looks like the definition of drab with a brown hat on. And as I say, beady little brown eyes. He's now kind of skitting those eyes around with a bit of nervous energy at the hint he might be getting stolen goods.
Simon takes a drag off of his cigarette, or his cigar. The smoke kind of swirling in the air a little bit as he sighs, and he's like, "Well, if you guys don't know anything, I'm sorry to bother you. There's probably other passengers that need help. I'm gonna go help them."
Yes,
And he
sure
just
has been a pleasure.
Yeah. And what was your name again?
Constance Boyd. Write it down. You'll be hearing about me a lot.
Yeah, we got another. Everybody's a fucking critic. All right. Well, he extinguishes his cigar on the side of the boat, and he looks at Cecil, and he's like, "And your name? I didn't catch it. I was paying attention to Tony over here."
Cecil Smith.
Good to meet you, Cecil. Well, I hope you guys. I hope it goes well for you guys. I'm gonna go make sure everybody else is okay. And he walks off.
So you walk back into the lounge, as you've been standing outside the door to the lounge on the deck to have a cigarette or a cigar. You walk back in there, and like you might have all been standing at the door to speak. And as you walk back in, you notice through the windows of the lounge the sort of cresting waves, the crashing waves, lower down to reveal that the lighthouse light flickers and flashes off, leaving the entire area completely dark, except for the lights that are on inside the lounge and the ship itself. You feel incredibly isolated on the seas.
Oh, how curious.
Is
What's there?
When you look
there
around,
anybody else in?
yeah, there are many passengers in the lounge that sort of haven't really noticed, because as you were walking in, you were sort of like head level with the windows. They're all sat down and sort of like clinging on to the chairs, a bit scared because of the way that the ship lilts, the way that it rocks from side to side during this storm. Some people are struggling to like keep their drinks held steady on the table, so they're not letting go of them, and anything loose that is on the surface will just slide to and fro.
Sorry, was it only Simon who saw this?
Yeah, Simon saw it, but if you were outside smoking at the time, then you would have noticed that the entire area around you has gone pitch black. You can't even see the shimmer of light against the surface of the water anymore, as the only light that exists is that which is on the ship.
Do I have like a flashlight or anything? I don't.
You don't.
You have what's in your inventory.
Oh man. Simon. He at the moment that he notices this. So I can't see at all, or can I? I can't see anything.
You can see inside the lounge as you are in the in the actual vessel itself. You've walked into the lounge room, which is a room that is on top of the deck. Sort of how you'd have different rooms, such as the smoking room or like a whiskey room. Like the lounge room is where people play poker, and you can smoke in there, but some people have opted to smoke out of the door, such as yourself and Constance. But yeah, you were all sort of stood at the open doorway which leads out onto the deck. As you've wandered back in, you've looked in the right direction, which is to your left through the window, and saw that the lighthouse has gone out. Constance, you also saw that the lighthouse has gone out too, because you're standing sort of at the door outside. The entire region has just gone pitch black except for the lights on the boat.
Simon. I walk back to the to those three, and I'm like, I'm not the only one who's seeing that, right?
The light in the lighthouse went out.
Fucking told you something was going on with that guy, which the little sea studies. I told you it's not going to get us any good.
Excuse me, officer. What is the meaning of this profanity? It is in no way in any polite society that those words should be being used.
Yeah, well, I've never claimed to be a fucking angel, sweetheart, right?
Hey,
I'm gonna slap
like
Simon across the face.
Okay.
Just the way women in the 1920s are allowed to do when men are being disrespectful.
Yeah, there are. By the way, there are no rolls for things like this. This just happens. Yeah.
Yeah, Simon catches your wrist in midair and be like, "Watch who you hit."
I'd slap him with my other hand.
As you are sort of squabbling at the door to the lounge, you notice above your heads on the top deck, you notice a couple of ship hands sort of panicking. You see them sort of like grab onto the railing, look out, or like try and squint out all over the ocean, the sea, and you see some run into not the engine room, the sort of room with the steering wheel. I don't know about ships, so I'm just going to call stuff however I see it. You can sort of hear a panicked tone to their voices as they're trying to navigate without this light to show them where the coastline is, you sense there's a panic going on.
I immediately go into action. If there's anybody in my way, I shove past them. I go straight up to like where all the workers are at, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
As you grab onto the stair rail to sort of run up the stairs to this top deck, you feel your knees buckle underneath you as the ship rises up from a sudden surge of a wave, and the ship hands start to panic even more now as they sort of rush around. They come to the top of the deck, look down at you on the stairs and say, get back inside. They say, the storm's getting worse, quick. And you see them all panicking, running down there. Some of them start grabbing onto the ropes to some of the lifeboats, which are just normal rowboats. And you get the sense that something terrible is happening.
I run back down and I say, "Everybody get the fuck inside!"
Simon, don't be a donkey.
And I'm not waiting. I'm shoving everybody inside.
The ship is now.
The fucking deck.
The ship is literally turning like on its side to a point where, Constance, you feel your little high heels just slide down the deck, like you try and like grabbing onto the door itself to the lounge, and it's just wet with rain. All of the waves have come crashing up over top of the deck itself. You see at the below deck, at the very front of the ship, there's like huge like wooden cargo sort of crates that are sliding around in there. People with torches are sort of like at the bottom of it, just sort of, you see these lights of these torches, and suddenly you see them like flash around in all directions as the tiny little people from your perspective, crates are just bashing into them, and it looks like they're like screaming. The waves flash over the top of them and carry them out into the ocean.
I'm going to take my high heels off and go inside.
I just grab the nearest person that I can and hang on to the guard railing.
Mm-hmm.
I would also like to go inside.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to bundle inside as well.
As soon as you get inside the lounge, everyone's like screaming and panicking. There's a couple of waiters that have been like knocking about with like little trays and things like that they just drop all their stuff and immediately go into like action station mode. They run out into the back room and sort of come back with a fuckload of like life jackets and stuff. And as they do, the ship tilts again, but this time at like a fucking 90-degree angle to a point where everything in the room just throws itself against the side windows on the left, smashing some of the windows. As the ship rights itself again, you see that people are hanging out of them, screaming, shouting. Someone's grabbing someone's legs to try and pull them back in through the window. Again, the ship lurches and throws hard. People are getting sucked out at the pressure of this. The door bangs open, there's a guy covered in rain, and he's like, "Quick, get to the lifeboats!" And he's just like going to come in and like grab you all. All four of you can run with this guy. As soon as you get out onto the deck, you see people are just flying off the ship into the water. Like, you can see that the waves crash up against the masts, and one of them splits and like teeters over, threatening to land on people. You've got no time to think. They drag you to this boat that they're trying to winch it down. It's like at an angle where it's like not safe to get in it, but they're like trying to push you up into it anyway. You see another bunch of ship hands doing the same for another boat. They're trying to get a bunch of like women and children on it first, and as they sort of like holding this winch, it loosens itself in this crash as the the things that are holding it up break, and as this mast falls onto it, thrusting the lifeboat into the water with these crowd of women and children on it. Everyone's panicking. You've got nothing else to do. You get on this boat, and as you are in it, it's wave rocking side to side. The guys up there like trying to pull the rope to sort of get you out over onto the side of it. And as the ship lurches again, you are flung out at the side, sort of like a pirate ship ride, where when you look down to your left, you can just see the ocean like underneath you. And with that, the rope snaps, and the boat goes sailing down into the water, splashing down. It sinks down, some water comes into the boat itself, and it pops back up again. You're holding on tight, and the waves carry you away, and you see this ship on its side, sucking up water inside of all of its rooms. People screaming, people trying to cling on for help, people crawling up onto the top decks, which is on its edge, trying to just hold on to anything they can. And you get swept further and further to shore. You're all on this boat.
Yeah, so on the ship, Constance, if like everyone hasn't really put the life jacket on, she's going to put hers on, and
there's no time for that. You were on the rowboat now. You were literally on the life. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, it literally has. It's everything's been flown out of the way since it tilted so strongly. You've fallen into the water, submerged, and then popped back up again. Like you don't have life jackets on you at all.
Okay.
He was trying to give them to you, but they just all got knocked out of your hands.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and just do what I would do. Like, I'm gonna do what I normally do in these kinds of like fucked up field situations. I'm just gonna tell everybody, stay low, keep your head down.
What?
When we hit land, hopefully we can. No, we're on a fucking boat. Gosh,
I don't
Constance,
think you should be in charge.
And what? You think you can do any better than me?
Oh, shut up! This isn't the time. And I'm gonna sort of like try and swim to a lifeboat and see if I can row it over.
You're in the lifeboat now.
Oh right.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying keep your fucking head down.
It's just you four in this lifeboat.
Hey, I do think there is something to be said about her studying water for her livelihood. Maybe we should listen to Constance.
All right, Constance, what do you think we should do?
Well, first of all, I think we should arrest the water. Oh wait, never mind. Right, what I think we should do is we should all hold the person next to you, and with one hand, and with the other hand hold to the side of the boat. That will give us the most brace on the boat, and it shall keep us all together.
Fuck it, let's try it. Constance, come here.
Okay.
I grab Tony.
Tony grabs on sight.
I like dig my hand into Constance's collar and then grab the boat.
I meant my arm. Well, all right then, and I grab onto his face.
Fucking Constance!
Yes. And I wrap my arm around his, adjusting it so that it's not on my collar anymore. And I think he's learned his lesson.
Simon moves it back. I'm just kidding.
Yep, you're all absolutely drenched wet through in this wooden rowboat as it's like turning and tossing in the water. The surf just sort of getting in your mouth and in your eyes, and you see that you're sort of getting pulled further and further away from this boat. You're starting to notice that the lights on the boat itself, I can hear myself, the lights on the boat itself are flickering, and then they just turn off as all the electrics have gone on the boat itself, the ship, I mean. And yeah, the rowboat's just getting sucked away through as the waves crash forwards against the shore. In the darkness, you can't see where that shore is. It's literally pitch black dark now that the ship's lights have turned off. You are in utter darkness.
Okay, everyone. Now it's imperative we keep calm. It's simple, really. The waves will bring us towards the shore, as that is. I don't need to explain that bit. And of course, we will arrive there. Perhaps not so safely, but we will arrive at the shore nonetheless. All we need to do is stay calm.
Are you so fucking calm? And Simon kind of looks at all of us, and he starts getting louder. He's like, "We're on the middle of a fucking boat. You can't see 5 feet in front of you. What the fuck are we gonna do?"
This is my job, Simon. So as I was saying, we just take deep breaths and stay calm. There's nothing we can do.
I don't really know about that. You know a lot about the fishes, but we can't breathe underwater like fishes. And I mean, what if the waves take us all the way out? How can you be so sure that we're going to hit land?
See, I was telling you about that thing that was watching us. You can't feel it?
Something watching us? What are you talking about?
Oh,
It's
he's
always
insane.
it's always behind my shoulder, man.
There's nothing
It
on
doesn't
your shoulder.
feel right.
Officer, the only thing you seem to have on your shoulder is a chip.
I don't see anything over your shoulder.
You don't have to see it, bucko. You take a moment and listen to your surroundings. Maybe you'll feel it. We are not alone here. I don't know what it is, but I sure as hell know I don't like it.
Perhaps it's a bit of Catholic guilt.
I'm non-religious, I'll have you know. But I ain't never felt nothing like this before.
Then perhaps it's the devil.
Maybe it is. And he's coming for all of us. You three included.
Why me?
You're here, aren't you?
I don't like this talk, and to be honest, I think that... Okay, we should stay calm, and in doing so, let us break the ice, as they say. So, let's all say a little bit about ourselves. I have an idea for a game. One truth and one lie. We say one thing that is true about ourselves, and one thing that is false, and the rest of us must try and guess what it is. How's that sound?
As you say that, a huge wave splashes right over you. Like the water is incredibly choppy during this storm. The rain is beating down around you. You're like shouting this out to make sure you're heard over the rushing waves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Constance also, by the way, looks like she's not looking like she's if you were to see her, obviously she's doing quite a good job at keeping composure, but she does not look like she is super serene and calm and relaxed in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
She's just trying to make the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout all of this conversation, Tony is digging his hand into Cecil and the side of the boat, but his eyes are closed the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's dark out, he's just like closing his eyes like really tightly,
Mm-hmm.
imagining he's not here.
How old are all of you?
How old am I?
Yeah, if you don't mind answering.
Well, you should never ask a lady. 28 years young.
Good to hear. Cecil, you?
31.
Tony?
I'm 39, and I'd really like to make it to 40.
I'm not so sure about that, Buster.
I am.
It's not looking good.
Well, it certainly isn't sounding very good from what you're saying, but I think I like my version of events a little bit better, where we're all going to be safe.
Oh yeah, you're young and stupid, I forgot. Alright.
Does anyone have a compass?
No, I would figure you as the marine biologist would have a compass.
Well, I'm not... I'm trying to solve things here. Okay, let me think. Does anyone have a clock? A watch? Does anyone know the time?
I don't got nothing like that, no.
It would be no use anyway. I can't even see the moon. Well, I think the only thing for it is perhaps we should row in a direction.
With what oar?
I was gonna say, you had an oar this entire time and weren't using it?
Constance looks around and realizes it's not an oar.
Mm-mm.
Oh, very well.
Oh, what a fucking genius. Jesus Christ, we're gonna die.
Well, officer, it looks like my first suggestion was indeed correct.
As soon as you
Simply
say,
work it
well, officer, the boat lunges as this huge scraping noise happens underneath the boat. You feel it like vibrating like so strongly underneath your hands, like as it's like, and you feel this horrible sort of like scrape underneath the boat. It's you look down and you can feel your ankles, because it's quite dark, you can feel the sort of like, not the amount of water that was already in the boat is starting to rise. When you look around in the sort of area, you can squint around and sort of make out the sort of shadow of a coastline, as there are a couple of small, tiny little lights at the base of the lighthouse itself. Now it's come into view. You can't see the height of the lighthouse at all, as these lights are sort of at the very bottom of it. So you essentially what you can see is a coastline, like a lump of a hill, and a couple of little lights, and you are quite close to that, but there is a little bit of sea between you and this. The rocks that are sort of, as you look to your side, you see these rocks passing you. It feels as though that the water is a lot more shallow in this area, considering the amount of rocks.
Land ho, at last. I thought perhaps we'd be doomed, considering I'm up to my ankles in water now. Well, I think seeing as though this... I'm correct in assuming that, like, the ship is sinking? Or was it just the waves?
The rowboat, yeah, the rowboat has now got a gaping hole at the bottom of it.
Well, I think what we ought to do, Constance says, taking her coat off, is swim. Everyone can swim, right?
Fucking pardon me? I mean, I don't know who you think you is. I'm not no swimmer. I'm 56 fucking years old.
Oh dear. Okay, and what about you, Tony and Cecil? Can you swim?
I learned how to swim as a little boy, but I've never been that strong at it. Never really had the, reason to.
Cecil?
I'm a fairly strong swimmer.
Very well. And Simon, you can't swim at all?
I mean, yeah, I can swim a little bit, but I mean, like I said, I'm fucking old, dude. What do you want me to say?
Very well. Well, with that in mind, of course, Tony being the one of the two weakest swimmers and the youngest of those two and the nicest of those two, Tony, I shall aid you in your swimming.
I'd be very grateful, thank you.
And when I say aid, I literally just mean I'm going to wrap him around my arm and backstroke my way to the coast.
Okay.
And I hold on to this for me, and I give him my coat to hold.
Your coat, which is...
try and keep it as dry as possible, even though it's soaking
it's
already.
It's literally extremely heavy because of how soaked wet through it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that then. I would just literally leave it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would probably give him my...
Like, currently the rain is beating down on you like bullets right now. Yeah.
Very well. We'll have to swim. And Constance is just going to get Tona.
I don't think Simon's the nicest fellow so far, but we can't just leave him, can we?
No, we're not. I'm saying he should swim as well, but assuming that you're both as good at swimming as each other, it's...
thank you for the help. I'm gonna look sincerely into to Simon's face. I wish you the best of luck, friend. And I'm just gonna take the free swim.
But Cecil, perhaps you could help Simon.
Useless fucker, alright? You ain't gotta carry me like that bitch Tony over there, alright? Just help me with this a little bit, alright, Cecil?
Sure, of course.
Appreciate it, pal. Come on now, let's go before this boat goes bottoms up, if you know what I'm saying.
I'd like to swim Tony over to the shore.
Okay. Roll a swim with a penalty, because you're carrying him.
Okay, does that mean roll and click the hard thing first?
You know what? Well, I don't think... No. Just roll, and then when it says bonus penalty, just click that. So roll it first. Yeah.
Skills. Where's this one? Here it is.
Okay, yep, it doesn't matter for the penalty because it's not going to take you under the success.
Okay.
So you grab hold of him and you swim through the sort of rocks. And as you do, you notice you're sort of avoiding the rocks, and the water is so choppy that every time you sort of like try to take a breath, the waves just like crash into you again. But you've got hold of Tony, and you make it to when you're sort of feeling around in the water, you can touch sand beneath your hands. Like the water has become more and more shallow. It's like very, very sticky, and when you put your hand into that sort of sea ground, the bed of it, it almost like engulfs your hand as though sucking you down a little bit, but you can pull it back out again, and you make it to the shore.
Tony, we're finally here. Come on, let's wait. I hope Cecil and Simon make it.
I really owe you one for that. You saved my life just then.
It's nothing more than any good person would do.
Alright, Cecil, roll a swim with penalty for holding Simon.
Well, I was gonna. Can I help?
Yeah, if you want, Simon. If you don't want to be carried by Cecil. Okay.
Oh no.
All right.
Cecil.
You can let go of him and swim on your own if you like.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. And you wouldn't have that 6 penalty if you weren't carrying Simon, so it doesn't make much of a difference though. Okay. So from the shoreline, you sat amongst these very large boulder-sized rocks. The shore itself hasn't made way to an actual sort of beach yet. You just sort of sat upon these rocks, like sort of looking out. From the rowboat, you see Cecil sort of like stand at the edge of it and sort of jump into the water. That's what you see first, and then you see Simon sort of follow suit. And you see the waves just suddenly lurch backwards, and you see Simon emerge from the water, and his arms reaching out, and he sort of like gets swept backwards a little, and he's struggling. He's like struggling to swim. It looks like every time he emerges from the water, the water sort of goes into his mouth even more. He's sort of like actually struggling to breathe right now.
Is this Cecil?
This is Simon. Cecil, you haven't seen emerge yet.
Tony, quick, pull Simon out. I'm going back in, and Constance is just gonna jump back into the water and try to find Cecil.
Okay.
Is Simon close enough for me to like wade in and get him, or would I need to swim out?
You would have to swim out to him. I'd say that you were about sort of 60 feet away from the rowboat.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, I can't just let him die. Plus, I have a better swim score than everyone else, and I didn't realize that. So I'm gonna go back in, Simon.
Okay.
And I am going to let you describe how that goes.
Shit.
Okay, roll that swim. Oh, that's you, 36.
I just did.
Yeah, oh, sorry, I didn't see that come through. Okay, you dive straight in. You swim all the way up to Simon, and you're trying to grab hold of his clothes, and you can see that he's swallowing a lot of water right now. And as you grab hold of him, you just realise how heavy he is, like utterly heavy. It's like he's a big guy, you know, like he's very big. His clothes are really heavy. Everyone's so sodden, absolutely drenched, wet through. And you grab hold of him. As soon as you do, you both sink together. It's very difficult to keep hold of him. But meanwhile, Cecil, as soon as you jumped into the water, you sort of dived in. And as you dived in, it's almost like you breathed at the wrong time, and you sucked up all this water into your lungs immediately. And you feel this sort of strange feeling come over your body as you're like sort of throwing around underneath these waves. The waves sort of knock you into some rocks, and you are going to take 4 damage. As your body just hits up against these rocks. You smack your head really, really hard against the rocks. You feel very disorientated. You are in a much deeper section as the waves have sort of pulled you out a little bit. And deep down, you feel your body sort of floating down to the seabed itself. As you're sort of disorientated, you're looking up you don't know which way the surface is. But you spot a strange glow at the bottom of the sea. As you look closer, you can see the sort of rocks have made strange formations, and you see odd sort of twisted metal in there, and some strange, wide, cracked lips, a jaw that juts forward with needle-like teeth as this mouth hangs agape, with two pointed nostril-esque horns above its top lip. These thick, cracked lips, these beady white eyes flash into your vision and scurries away into the darkness, and you feel your consciousness starting to slip away. Constance, roll a swim.
No!
Wow. Okay. You swim out there and you're sort of on the surface looking around for any sort of disturbance in the water. You like look towards the boat, you're like sort of holding your breath, like diving deep down and looking around on the surface of the water, and you can't seem to find him. You come back up and you are again, you see the edge of the coastline is getting further and further away from you, and then you bump into Tony and Simon as they are like roiling around underneath the waves, and you just spot like two coats sort of like, you know, attached to bodies of course, rolling around. If you're all sort of together, you can attempt to grab onto the side of the rowboat itself, because you're quite near it, so you could try to do that with let's just see here, let's just have a straight strength roll, just to sort of beat against the waves as they try and pull you away.
Is that from everyone?
From I'd say from everyone, yeah, except Cecil, obviously.
What's Cecil?
Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
I only failed by one.
Well, every single one of you fail, and every single one of you feel the water sort of enter your lungs. You are thrashing around and you all sink to the bottom, and your consciousness sort of disappears for a moment. And let's just do this here.
We all die. Well, it was fun.
Okay. You all have a very odd dream, like a nightmare. This nightmare comes to you from the sort of the darkness that surrounds you. It's pressing in on your mind, pressing in your lungs. You can't breathe, you can't think. Everything that you've ever thought in your life sort of scrambles around in your mind, and there's this strange pull, this strange sort of pull at your arms and at your legs, as if sort of webbed hands are caressing you, and you open your eyes. Cecil, you are face down with your body sort of like hugging this huge rock, blood seeping out of your eyebrow and head, trickling down your face, merging with the rainwater. Simon, you have been pierced by a bit of twisted metal, and you're going to take 3 damage from that, as your right bicep is just slashed open, your clothes sort of open, giving way to this huge wound. Constance, you are
Failed by one.
face down in the on the sort of sand bit of the shore itself, but your legs are askew. It's like you've been thrown between 2 rocks. You feel like your leg is twisted. You're going to take 1 damage from that.
Shit.
And Tony, you wake up beside some rocks. You've been sort of like bashed around all over the place. As soon as you open your eyes, you just vomit on the sand, and you're going to take 5 damage. As your sort of stomach is just like emptying itself of everything. The salt of the water has made you so queasy and ill. You're yeah.
How? I look around to see that everyone else is there. How the hell are we still alive?
Oh, we got lucky, that's how.
Yo, there's red on the beach. Who's bleeding?
Oh, fuck it, it's me. Oh, shit. God.
Hey, shit. Anybody have any, like, bandages or anything like that? I mean...
Yeah, you three are quite...
No.
You three are quite close by to each other, but Cecil is, like, up on top of a boulder, like, as if he's been thrown at it from a wave, sort of about 20 feet away from you.
Tony, are you any good at first aid?
I know a thing or two. I've stopped a couple bleeds before. I just need something to tie it with.
I'm pretty good with first aid.
First aid on yourself.
First aid. Use my coat.
I'm going after Cecil.
You do that. All right, Tony. Here's what you're gonna do. All right. And I walk him through the steps of how to, as a police officer, I know how to do these kinds of things and patch basic wounds and stuff like that. So I walk Tony through it.
Nice.
Should I roll a first aid?
Yes, roll a first aid.
You snap his...
Do I get a bonus with that?
No, you don't. You tie up Tony's bicep wound. You don't know if it's helpful or anything. You've done what he said. That's as far as you know.
So the trick I know is to tie it extremely tight. And it just like goes really tight into the wound.
Well, that's a little tight there, but it'll do, Buster. And I give him a pat on the back and you're not so bad, Tony, alright?
I think you got off on the wrong foot with Constance, but it's all the better that you're alive with us. You don't seem too bad yourself.
Over with Constance.
Fucking Constance, though.
Constance has gone up to Cecil, who is somewhat delirious and coming in and out of consciousness as his head bleeds against this boulder. You're gonna have to try and climb up. You're gonna have to try and climb up the boulder to reach him, as this is a slippy, wet boulder.
What should that?
A climb check.
Oh yeah, is there actually a thing for it? Let me just find it.
Left-hand side of skills.
Oh, thank you.
You put your little hands on there and you sort of try and get up there with both your fucking, high heels have gone, you know what I mean, like everything, you're like barefoot, slipping around trying to climb up this boulder and you just can't. Cecil, you sort of come to some sort of consciousness and you can just see the wet hair of this girl trying to sort of make her way up this boulder and slipping back down again.
Is to sit up.
Yeah.
And it gets kind of woozy. Kind of touches his head, looks at his hand, sees that he's bleeding but doesn't really recognize what that means. Did you see it?
Oh, what's that? Oh, Cecil, darling, I don't suppose I could be a bother and ask you to help me up?
Nah, sweetheart, come here, and can I just lift her up over my shoulders or give her a boost or something?
Yeah, you can give her a boost. That would be a strength from you to push her up there.
And if she gives me a boost, can I make a jump?
Yes. Okay. yeah, so he comes over, he puts his hand underneath, like his hands together so that you can step on his hands, and he thrusts you up, and he actually can push you up over his own head, so that you are like right at the top, and as you sort of like appear up the side of this boulder, you can see Cecil up close, just from the light of the lighthouse buildings at the base of the thing. It's very, very dim, but you can see he's bleeding from his head.
Oh dear. Goodness, just on my hat.
No, everything's blown off you. Like whatever clothes are actually on your person are the ones that have, like your t-shirt or your dress or whatever. That's all still on.
I'm going to try and sort of say, "Oh, you're in a bad way, Cecil." And I'm going to sort of rip into my dress, and it's quite a fancy dress, very expensive, but I guess a human life is more important. And I sort of like rip like a good strip of it off, and I'm just going to sort of try and wrap that around Cecil's head to sort of, well, stop it bleeding.
Okay.
Shall I roll a first aid?
Yeah.
Yep. I can bloody find it. Oh, here it is. No.
Oh no. Yeah, you sort of like shimmy your way across the boulder to try and like get up close to him, and yeah, whatever you do, it's not gonna heal him any.
All right, Tony, you go up there and follow him. Come on, I'll boost you.
Now, Cecil.
I'll find another way around.
Now, Cecil, what was it you were talking about having seen?
In the water. Did you see it?
See what?
It saw us.
What, the beastie on Simon's shoulder? Oh, don't worry about that. If you think you saw something, it's probably some sort of near-death induced hallucination. It's quite a common thing. I wouldn't worry about it too much, Cecil.
All right, Tony, bottom, up see daisies.
Okay, yeah, sure, if we're going up there.
Yeah.
I'll get it boosted.
Okay. Also, Cecil, you're going to take 4 points of sanity loss.
From being gaslit.
Tony will scramble his way up there.
Okay.
So, everything going okay up here? Cecil, are you alright?
Have you rolled the climb for that? Or is Simon helping
Oh,
you?
do I need to climb with this strength?
Yeah, I rolled another success.
Oh, yes, fine. Yeah, sorry, yeah. Sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, Tony, I think he's in shock. He thinks he saw something.
Oh, what do you think you saw, Cecil?
Cecil, you're not fucking crazy.
Silence, Simon!
There was something in the water with us.
Cecil, it's alright if you... There's a lot of people that were on that boat. If you saw something unsavory down there, it could have just been another one of them. You're one of the lucky ones, though. You made it with us.
I'm going to stroke Cecil's hair all motherly while Tony says this to like try and calm him down.
I know it's harrowing, but it's okay.
Right.
Simon's gonna try to find another. Is there another way to get up on this boulder?
You can just try and climb if you've got no one to help you up because they're all on top of it.
I fail, and he's like, all right, I'll just wait down here. I'll catch you when you decide to come down.
As
Let's stay up here forever.
As you're waiting down there, Simon, you're sort of like looking around, and you see You are around about here, on the map. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, is this... Hang on, let me just turn down my lighting off because we don't need it. Okay, you are around about here, where I've pinged, if you can see that. I'll do that again. I know there's like a token for party location, but just pop yourselves here. Yeah, there we go.
Why am I so big?
I don't know why. I'll just make you appropriate for the size. So yeah, you sort of, it's not to scale at all in any way. But yeah, so you're about there, and you three are on this boulder that's sort of just off the land around about there. Bear in mind that this coastline, it's very dense with rocks and boulders and things. So when I say that you're in the water, you're not actually in the actual water itself. You're just on the rocks. And Simon, you're sort of on the shore itself, looking around. And you notice a strange sort of like rustling coming from like the trees. That's not caused by the wind. As you are out there standing on your own, as these three are on this boulder.
I pull out my gun and I say, "Hey guys, there's something fucking weird over here. God could use some help." I told you they was fucking watching us. See, Cecil saw it. Why can't you fucking understand that, Constance?
There's no need for the language. You want help? Constance just turns to Tony.
Yes, I want goddamn help.
With her being a woman, you know, she's using the benefits of patriarchy at this point.
Are you going to be okay trying to help Cecil get up? He looks a little bit frail.
Oh, don't worry. I've carried men over my shoulder in my time. Not true, but, you know.
Alright, if you got this under control, I'll go and see what Mr. Shouty wants.
And perhaps you could medicate him for something that would calm him down.
If only. I think I'd be taking a heapings of that myself right now. I'll get down from the boulder and...
As he's sort of going down, Constance just puts a hand on his arm and says, "It's okay. I understand we're all startled after this, but it's all fine."
Yeah. We're survivors. This is good.
Exactly. We've already got lucky this far.
Yeah, he kind of is nodding along, but it's a very vacant kind of nod as he turns to go back to Simon. So, what are you seeing over here?
He points in the direction. He's like, "There's something fucking rustling over there." You don't think I'm crazy, do you, Tony? Do you believe Cecil? You fucking hear that?
I believe that a lot of crazy stuff has been going on tonight, but you know, we all took a pretty big knock to the head from that water.
Tony, shut the fuck up! Do you hear? There it is. Oh hell no! You heard that, right?
I don't know what I'm hearing. I think
Tony.
I think we're all pretty shook up, you know. And
Tony, I grab him by the shoulders and look him in the eyes. Listen to me. There's something out there. If you do not start believing what is right in front of your fucking face, you're gonna die. Do you want to die at 31, Tony?
I'm 39, and no, I do not want to die.
Then you better stop fucking listening. Understand, pal?
Well, maybe we should start, going into the building rather than staying out here, where the thing might be.
Yeah, whatever the thing is. Help me get. I'll help you get Cecil and Constance, and we'll go in this fucking building. All right.
All right. I think that's the thing that makes the most sense right now. Not staring it down while it rustles a bunch of leaves.
Actually, I don't feel comfortable. I'm gonna keep watch with my gun. And he unholsters his pistol, his revolver, and starts keeping watch. You go help them too. I got this.
I feel like I'm being passed around by everybody here. I'm gonna look over to Cecil and Constance to see if they're making moves.
Did we hear that?
No, only Simon and Tony heard anything from there, because you're up on this boulder near the crashing waves, but the rain starts to let up a little bit. The waves are still quite, very... there's a lot of wind, there's a lot of waves, but the rain's let up. It's oddly quiet, even though the waves are still making noise.
Cecil, the tempest has receded. Well, it appears the Lord has mercy today. For us, at least.
Well, there's something to be thankful for, at least.
How are you feeling? You're not... I mean, do you think you could walk?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could walk.
That's good. Constantly just going to stand up on the rock and sort of just like have a mosey on around, see what's going on, being Naza. And she's just gonna, well,
sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Tony's just gonna come back and stand at the bottom of the boulder, ready to help you down when you're ready to come down.
See, so I'll help you get to Tony, and I'm sort of gonna help him stand up. Yeah, and sort of move him on over.
Okay. You can slip down the side of the boulder quite easily. Yeah, it's just climbing up it that's difficult.
Yeah, well, I'm still going to accept the help. Being in the damsel in distress isn't easy, you know. Well, I think that's I think we'll be fine from now on. The worst of our troubles are over.
No, Constance, they're just beginning, let me tell you. Tony heard it too.
Heard what?
Yeah. I don't know what I heard exactly. I will say
Tony,
that.
are you gonna really fuck me here?
Hey, we've just been through a complete shit show of an experience. I'm sorry for my language, Constance, but I don't think any of us are working at 100% of our faculties right now, and I think the best thing is to get away from here and go inside where it's a little bit warmer, drier, and there's less. If there is noises out here, there's less noises in there. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it'll probably be warmer in there than it is out here. I support that notion.
I mean, at this point, yeah. Like what?
Well, you could maybe call some of your cop buddies and get us some help from inside.
I'm assuming as a police officer I'd have a cell or whatever they have back in the 1920s.
No.
What do you mean? Most people didn't have telephones.
Yeah.
Is there a fucking pigeon around? No, Tony, I can't get a hold of my friends, alright?
Hey, newsflash, that's a lighthouse. That's gonna have some sort of communications thing
Does
in
this
there.
lighthouse look like it's fucking working?
Yeah.
Well, that gives us a task.
When you look up at it, you see obviously distinctly the light is not working anymore, but there are lights sort of on at the base buildings that you can see, and you also hear a faint churning of machinery.
Alright, does any of you guys have a weaponry?
A weapon?
Yes,
No,
a weapon.
Officer, I will be quite frank. I understand that things are tense right now. We are in a strange place with no idea of how to return home. However, losing our heads is a surefire way of getting our heads lost.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
See, you're not fucking using your brain, Constance. You're a marine biologist. I know you're smart. Fucking listen.
No. In Constance's defense, a handgun which you're holding is not going to do anything against hearing noises.
But you admit there's noises, right?
Perhaps it's the sound of the wind or something.
The wind doesn't sound like that, Constance. Okay? I know I sound like a dick right now, but honestly, use logic. I know you. That's what your line of thinking seems to be.
Listen,
right?
it's very easy right now to get lost in a haze of paranoia and fear, but if we keep our heads, then if there is something going on here, we shall keep our heads and keep our wits about ourselves. But I honestly don't think that anything... Perhaps we're hearing the sound of thunder quite far away. I mean, the storm has stopped here, but perhaps a little further east.
No, and he kind of like taps the gun against his head, and he's like, all right, Constance, you ain't gotta believe me, but when something happens, every man for himself. That's all I gotta say.
Every
And
man
he
for
walks
himself. As he walks off, I turn to Cecil and Turner. Well, he may be of that mindset, but if something does go wrong, which I hope it does not, I don't see why it would, but if something does go wrong, we're all in this together. Even Cecil. Not even Cecil. Even the officer.
Simon.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but she says even.
Right. Well, Constance, you know about sea creatures. Is there any sort of sea creatures that could be making sounds like whale calls?
Oh, perhaps it's simply the sound of a marine life form, perhaps a very rare marine life form that hasn't been charted yet. Oh, well, that's just... And you say you saw it underwater? Oh, well, she takes out her little notebook, which is like probably sodden with water at this point, and a little pen, and says, oh, you must tell me all about it. What do you remember?
Cecil kind of recounts what he remembers about it, but it's kind of like all kind of fuzzy just because he just got a traumatic head injury.
Well, I should certainly keep this for my notes.
What
prospect.
exact details does he give?
That there were horns and that it was underwater and that it was definitely staring at them.
A sea creature with horns and staring at you, so front-facing eyes. Well, Constance has like a sort of a look of like not dread, but she looks a little bit shaken by that revelation. Well, if that is true, I mean, most sea creatures don't have horns, so perhaps it could be some sort of creature that dwells on sea and land, and front-facing eyes means it's a predator. And she closes her book, and she just like she steps down from the boulder and takes a few steps, and then she shakes her head. Well, as I say, hallucinations. And she looks like she's saying that probably more to reassure herself that there isn't some horned predator, that amphibian lurking.
Simon, as you have sort of walked off a little bit with your every man for himself speech, you get to this path. Make a spot hidden for me, please.
Absolutely.
Nice. So you sort of like head down, you know, you're gaze is more averted to the ground, as you're kind of annoyed at these guys and frustrated and scared, and you don't want to give eye contact to this bush over here, what you definitely saw something in, and you was hearing those noises coming from there. You as your gaze is sort of like down at the ground, you feel this presence in your peripheral vision, and you dare not look at it. But as you are looking at the ground itself, you notice tracks, small, muddy, animal-like footprints, but beneath them are distinct boot prints, only partially obscured by the overlaying track marks, as though animal-like footprints are on top of boot prints in the mud.
Simon, when he's in a case, they wouldn't be able to know this, but his voice like drops a little bit, and it's like, well, can I tell if it looked like, how many toes does it have?
Make either a natural world or science, biology or zoology roll. So natural world or biology or zoology. In the dark you can't tell, and you wouldn't know how to sort of tell what a creature's footprint looks like anyway.
I wonder if anyone does know that.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's an animal, right?
It's very animal-like, yes.
Okay. Obviously, yeah. Checking by the boot prints underneath and the higher impressions of the footprints. Maybe something chased after him? Or her? Why would there be other people on this island? And if there was, why would the lighthouse not be operating? It doesn't make sense.
Everyone else has... Oh, yeah. Everyone else
shakes his head.
has seen Simon stop to look down at this. He's sort of muttering to himself.
Looks like Simon's found something.
Monsters.
Well, we're a bit further behind.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can walk up to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you found?
I have a question for you.
Do you now? Well, go ahead.
If there were other people on this island, what would you say if I told you that?
What would I say? Other people? On an island? I would ask if it was perhaps the lighthouse keeper.
That was the case. Why is the lighthouse down? And where is the lightkeeper?
Very well then. If it wasn't the lighthouse keeper, perhaps it was other people quite like us who got here first. And so maybe we'll find them in there. Otherwise, I don't know. Why would someone shut down a lighthouse? Well, that's simple. It's probably the same reason that other ships gone missing. Criminals, right? Smugglers or something, trying to strand ships and steal their loot.
Okay, and final question. And he points at the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Do these look like anything you've ever seen in your life?
Constance looks a bit shocked to see the animal nature, and is gonna examine them very closely and use her notes that she's previously made, just in her entire book, as a cross-reference. That's a hard success.
Mm-hmm. A hard success. Okay.
Mm.
You conclude that these small footprints appear duck-like in nature. Sort of three-pronged toes and webbed. And rain sort of patters down onto him as the rain starts to slowly pick up again. And you can see that the tracks extend along the pathway. And as the rain patters down on them, you see the mud sort of sliding down into the pool and sort of almost cover the tracks themselves. and they may be lost forever as the rain might make this tracking impossible. But you also notice that the footprints aren't from a species that you've ever been able to identify before.
She's going to subtly, write in her notebook on the same sort of page that she's written the notes that she got off Cecil. She's going to make off the top of, as they sort of start to fade, a very quick sort of sketch of the footprints. Are they bigger than ducks? I presume they're much bigger.
They are, but they're still quite small compared to like a human length of a human foot. They're not as small as a duck. They're kind of in between.
They appear to be quite duck-like, but too big to be a duck. That's strange. And I just had a thought. Well, I mean... No, never mind. Shall we go inside?
I think that's the best option, yeah. You're kind of a animal expert here. What were you thinking?
Oh no, it was something about the little lifeboat we were on. It's nothing.
Okay then. You seem like one of the smartest ones here, so don't go making a habit of keeping your thoughts to yourself.
But it's just that they were the lifeboat. It didn't hit anything. I mean, there were no rocks around to be hit at that point. So something hit it, and something perhaps with horns.
Constance, I think you and I, and hopefully these two now, know there's something more going on here.
Well, it's just marine biology.
It's not just marine biology. Okay? You're finding on this one tiny little remote fucking lighthouse island unknown creatures you've never seen before. That nobody's ever seen before.
Yes, what are you suggesting? There's things all around the world that have yet to be discovered.
My question is, that is something we don't know. And what you also don't know is if it's hostile, if it will kill us, if it is out here to cause us harm. Do you not? I think we should get in the lighthouse. Cecil, Tony, I'm going. If you want to stay here with Constance and fucking twiddle thumbs, go for it. I'm heading inside.
I did actually suggest going into the lighthouse, but yes, actually now I've changed my mind. Let's twiddle our thumbs. What an arse.
Have fun.
Okay, so you see in front of you here, this is the lighthouse cottage, which is attached to the lighthouse itself. The lighthouse cottage, you see that the front door is partially open.
Does it look broken?
No, it's just partially open.
Perhaps there's a locking mechanism on this door.
Alright, stand back, everybody. If there's somebody in here and he's like, police! If there's anybody in there, come out with your hands up.
A good idea. If there's anything dangerous that might kill us, let's alert it to our presence.
I'm the one with the gun here.
And you're the one who's not even listening to yourself. Well, it's too late now. Go on. Just...
You know what? Fucking fine. I will then. And I open the door.
You push open the door, and you see a long hallway which leads to the cottage's 4 rooms, 2 on each side of the wide hallway. You see that there is a light coming from the first left door, which is slightly ajar. But I will also pop you on the map.
Awesome.
Okay, just give us a second. Scooby-Doo-Boop. I'm gonna paste you in there as well. There you are. And Simon is the one who's gone in. So coming from, where are you? There you are. Might take a little while for it to load.
Yes.
So yeah, coming from this door here, you see some light. The hallway is completely dark, by the way, and you don't have any source of light. The only light that you can see is coming from this room.
And I don't know you three, and I can't tell you what to do. I can advise that you wait here, and I will yell if anything's wrong.
And what if it comes up from behind us? You're the only
And
one
get
with the gun.
inside and lock the door.
And what if it's inside? We lock ourselves in
Well-
with it.
Well, I mean, that's why I have this, and he wiggles the gun. Look, Constance, I know me and you have butted heads, but I don't want you to die. I hope you know that. I am a man of the law, and while I am rather rough around the edges, I do have a sense of justice.
I don't want you to die is literally a direct, in direct conflict with you saying every man for themselves, unless you mean every man for themselves, but also save a woman on the same meaning. But I am also on the side of that we all work as a team. I do think that you have very valuable insights, and if you don't, then you certainly have a very valuable gun, which could help us if things are dangerous. I certainly don't think it would do for any of us to go without having the other.
Right. Come on, then. Sticking together, then, is the idea we're going with.
I'm glad you
There's a
finally
light
seen sense.
There's a light just in this hallway. Come on, you three.
So yeah, you notice that the light is on in this room, but none of the others.
Yeah, I'll lead and head into that room.
Yeah, Constance is not going to be the first or the last in the line.
And what's Tony and Cecil doing?
Tony, you keep the rear. Cecil, you're in no shape. Get in the middle with Constance, please.
Yeah, but what are they doing though? While we're having this discussion?
Tony's just kind of looking a bit dumbfounded that we've gone into this like paranoia thing rather than just going and getting warm. He's heard the noises, but he's not entirely convinced. He's just a bit shaken up from the crash.
Yeah, I think Cecil's just very woozy from his head injury. He's just ready to get inside.
Bless him.
Okay, so you lead the way in, Simon. You head into the study. It contains 3 armchairs that are located sort of like roughly in the centre of the room. And in addition to the hall doorway, there's another doorway that leads to a kitchen. In terms of furniture, beside the armchairs, there is a table to the left of the hall door, which is here, and a roll-top writing desk on the outer wall here, close to the kitchen door. Both have their own wooden chair next to them, and the one by the writing desk currently lies on the ground. Simon, make an intelligence roll. Yeah, you can clearly see that this chair next to the writing desk has been knocked over in a hurry, as if someone stood up immediately from it, and that's the position that it's laying in right now.
I want to look and see if I see any more of those tracks, or if I see signs of conflict besides the chair.
Okay. Yeah, you look around, and this is the only sign of conflict that you can see in the room.
Right. Right. Obviously, He points to the chair and he's like, judging by the displacement of the chair, and it doesn't look like it's been on here very long. The conflict happened rather recently, I would gather. And just before I forget, and I head back out and I lock the front door.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Back in, and I'm like, yeah.
You get to the door. It doesn't seem to have a key to it, or a sliding lock. It has a keyhole, but you can close the door if you want to choose to barricade it in some way. You may.
Yeah, I will. Hey, you guys, Tony.
Yeah.
One of you three, hand me one of the chairs in there if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah. Is there a chair that I can use for that?
Yeah. There's the chair that's
the one
on
the
ground.
floor. Yeah, the one that got knocked down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted me messing with the possible crime scene. I'm just gonna lift off.
At this point, we know something fuck's going on. I'd rather, make sure we're safe first and foremost.
I'm sorry.
throw-
Are we truly locking ourselves in?
There's
That
windows
is-
if you need to jump through. But I heard the noises out there.
What are you saying? There's windows if we need to
Constance.
jump through. If something's going to kill us, then they can use the windows as well.
When you look to the window, Constance, the window that's in the study, you see a humanoid shape just walk past, and in this sort of direction from left to right.
I literally point and say, "He's there!" and I hide behind Cecil.
And the moment you say that, I throw the chair up underneath the doorknob.
Mm-hmm. Roll for me. Let's have a look here. I'm gonna say roll. I think basically I think you should just roll an intelligence just to see if you know how to sort of get the angle right on this door. Brilliant. Yeah, it seems firmly lodged underneath the door handle.
What, the door that leads to which door?
The main door, the front door.
Right, because I was gonna say
I'm
if you've just locked it, fucking what's it called out?
I'm just gonna draw a line there to show that it's lodged. There is a chair.
Constance, what did you see?
Constance starts breathing, but then she makes efforts to contain her breathing. Sorry, I don't know what came over me. No, sorry, I saw someone, I think, perhaps the lighthouse keeper himself, walk from that side of the window, going in an easternly direction, if I know what east is, going to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it was the lighthouse keeper, we've just locked him outside of his own house right now.
No. See,
good.
if it was the lighthouse keeper, he would have made himself known, Tony, right? I'm a law. I know these kinds of things. I mean, there's plenty of ways to communicate. Knock on the door. Hey, guys, let me in.
Well,
Maybe a lighthouse keeper isn't really used to having a lot of guests coming over, so as soon as someone pounds on his door and says, "Hey, we're coming inside," maybe it freaks a guy out. Maybe he runs outside to get away from us.
Constance puts a hand on Tony's shoulder. Tony, if it is the lighthouse keeper, that's a good thing, because it means that we've only locked the lighthouse keeper out, and that the lighthouse keeper is safe, and he is good. And it means that we are just being paranoid for no reason, which ultimately is a good thing, even if a little foolish. If it isn't the lighthouse keeper,
then we have a bigger problem.
well, then it's a good thing we locked him out rather than knowingly locked ourselves in.
Yeah, but there's a third option, and it was the lighthouse keeper that we've just locked outside. But maybe we're being paranoid for a good reason, and we've just locked him outside with whatever's out there.
While they're doing this, I'm gonna take the. Is there any drawers or anything on this table?
Which table are you going to? This one?
This one. Yes, ma'am.
All right. You go over to the table and you see that it holds several books of maritime tales, a bird book, a repair manual for the lighthouse, a pipe, a pouch of tobacco, a pair of binoculars, I can't say that word, a sketchbook, pencils, watercolour paints, paintbrushes, and paper. And there appears
Simon
to be...
grabs-
Oh, sorry. And there appears to be a recently finished watercolour as well that sits on the table, besides a neat stack of other paintings.
Could I ascertain how long ago that painting was finished?
Let's have a look there.
Is the paint still wet?
Yeah?
It's not wet. It's more that it's... Let me describe this. It's more that it's sort of the one that looks as though that it's just been finished and the pieces and like the paintbrushes have just been put aside. Sort of that's the one that they were working on currently. By most recent meaning that they're not stacked on top of one another as dry paintings are. It's just the one that's at the table as though someone had sat down to paint.
Is any of this? He takes the bag of tobacco, and he's the repaired guy. And he's like, "Could come in handy," and tucks it in his in his trench coat. He tucks it in one of the inside pockets. And like, is any of this? And he takes the binoculars and passes them to Constance, and he's like, "I'm trusting you. Keep a lookout."
Officer, that could very well be theft. You don't need the tobacco.
Yeah, you're right. And he throws it back on the counter, or he throws it on the floor because what he's going to do is take that whole table and move it off and across to this window and block the window.
Okay. As you get up closer... Oh, sorry. Peach?
Oh, sorry, does the painting like fall to the floor? I was going to ask, but I think that's more of an after thing for what you were describing.
Yeah, as you sort of put your hands on either side of this table to sort of drag it across, obviously you're very up close to this painting now, and you can see it. You can see what it is and its details. And you see that it shows a window very similar to the one to your right, a window very similar to the one that Constance looked through. And you can see that there's a dark shadow in the window with wide eyes that leer through the glass pane, and these eyes are just pure white. And you drag the table across and make a sanity roll. You, obviously being the guy you are, just see this as some silly thing, like it's just someone's nightmare that they've painted or something. It's just art to you. It's just, you don't really get it. It doesn't affect you in any way.
And when I finish moving the table and block the window, I'm like, I know you probably think I'm crazy, Constance.
I do.
Or what have you. I work in the force. I've seen shit. The fucking jobs they send me on, I came out here to meet my guy, Michael. And now we're stuck on an island with no way to get off as far as we know. And
I understand.
it's
Post-traumatic stress disorder is a very real thing. Shell shock, they used to call it a few years ago. But, you can't let that mindset rule you. You can't fall into that paranoia. And I'm going to mute myself.
I thought that was the audio. I was like, what?
No, yeah.
I agree. I think the whole descent into paranoia between all of us is just a bit too much. Like, we're in a lighthouse building. There's got to be some way that they communicate with the mainland. We should be able to get a boat sent out to us. We'll go back. We'll have nice warm coffees, and everything should just be fine. We're out here wondering about whistlings in the wind and duck footprints. It's just all ridiculous.
Surely there has to be a way to get to the mainland from here, or at least contact them. There's no way that a lighthouse keeper could be out here all alone without one.
Well,
He would have had to come with a boat. As far as I remember, they come here on their own.
as far
I mean,
as
they sort of live here for a few months and then go back to their families for a while and then come back, and it's a constant cycle. But yeah,
I don't think they have families. I think often lighthouse keepers simply live in the lighthouse forever. But I do actually think that. Well, I certainly hope there's some form of communication. But lighthouses have been around since long before Alexander Graham Bell had the brilliant idea to create a small device that allows for long-distance communication. A telephone.
Even without a telephone, we should have something like what Inspector Morse made. I'm sure the officer here knows how to communicate in Morse code if we need to.
but I think our first thing would be to turn on the lights in the house. And I want to go across the hall and try to find a light switch for this room.
Okay. Before you do that, as you're all standing there talking, Cecil, you begin to get a headache, and you sort of lower your head a little to sort of touch your head as this headache comes along, and everyone surrounding Cecil sees his eyes sort of flick open quite darkly, and as they flick open, they look towards the table which is by the window. Cecil, your eyes are fixed on the painting, and you feel this overwhelming, like you are compelled to take a look at it.
As I was going towards the door, and I see so I would be going out, but I would still see this, right?
Yes, everyone's like he touches his forehead, like where this ache starts to appear, and when his eyes like split open, they're like very darkly pressed on this, like they shoot towards that table.
I intercepted him. I'm like, "Hey, whoa, Cecil, buddy, it's all right. You don't. It's just a painting. Trust me. I already looked at it."
No,
well. Oh yeah, go on.
This is what I do. I have to find.
Yeah, you're right. You're an artist, man. Yeah, you're right. I can do a lot of things. Painting's not one of them. Go ahead, buddy.
I think he just sits there and stares in a way that would be incredibly unnerving to anyone viewing. Just stares silently.
Yeah, Constance probably thinks it looks weird, like him staring at it. She's not really interested in the painting. She's not much of an art mind, but she kind of doesn't read into it too much because he's a painter. I guess they get weird about paintings.
Sorry, Tony.
Tony's kind of look at the way Cecil walked over to it, like a bit trance-like is what I'm getting from the description.
Yes.
Guys, Cecil took quite a knock to the head. Should we not find a bed or something to get him to have a sleep in? He's just kind of looking a bit perplexed, eyebrow raised at Cecil transfixed.
As those three are standing behind you, Cecil, those three are sort of standing and watching you take these small, heavy steps towards the table. And as it rises into your vision, you can see this shadowy eyes that are very bulbous and white, placed almost to the side of its head, somewhat similar to like the anatomy of a fish or a frog, but still looking at you, staring at you. And the rest of the features are quite hurried. It looks as though like the person painting this lacked care and finesse, especially compared to the other paintings on the table. When you look at those neatly stacked watercolour paintings, you notice another one that takes your attention, a nearby thicket nearby the lighthouse. One or two other small buildings can be seen in this image, and in the darkness of the path leading to it, the silhouette of a man. And this one's dated February 14th, 1926. Roll a sanity. You're going to take 1 sanity away. And that
Nice.
mouth flashes through your mind. The grimacing lips, cracked lips, the jutting bottom jaw, the needle-like teeth flashes through your mind.
Are you alright, Cecil?
Cecil, are you alright?
Kind of shudders and sighs, and I think he's going to pull out his travel art set. And I think he's going to try to make rendition of this horrid pain that has compelled him so, like, hurriedly, obviously, but I think he finds himself compelled to do so.
The winds
Right.
stop
Uh,
as he's doing this, and the rain comes down, splattering against the window as he paints. Roll a painting check.
Nice. Success.
Whatever you paint's going to be perfect.
Constance looks at what's it called, Simon, with like her hands on her hips, just sort of watching him. She looks very, like, she looks like she's about ready to tell him to shut up if he tells Cecil to stop. She's just waiting for him to say it at this point.
Simon's not even worried about Cecil. In fact, he while Cecil does that, he's gonna walk, do what he was doing before, and go and look for a light in room.
Yeah. You come out into the hallway, and you sort of the light from the study door being open sort of shines on the hallway walls, and you do see that there is a light switch.
I flick it.
The light flicks on in the hallway. And
Oh, that was an intelligent idea. Why didn't we think of that?
you find it quite odd, in fact, that there is a generator running with the sound of this machinery, sort of noise and the hum in the background. And you find it quite odd that the lighthouse light isn't working, but the rest of the electrics are. And the first thing you notice when you turn the light on is that there are 3 coat hooks by the door, but only one of them currently has a well-worn oilskin jacket hanging from it. And there are 2 pairs of boots that stand in a shallow tray just beneath the coat hooks, and there is space for another pair, while a pair of indoor shoes sits beside the tray. 2 oil lanterns hang from hooks next to the oilskin, And there's also an empty hook, suggesting that one lamp is missing.
Interesting.
Make a spot hidden for me, please.
Absolutely.
You notice that as you're sort of looking around, and you see that there are 2 bullets that are lodged in the hallway floor.
Constance,
What?
come here.
Yes,
Please.
Commander. Right, what?
I point, and I'm like, and while I'm pointing to these, I walk over to one of the shoe racks, and I'm like, I've learned 2 things from coming out here. One, and as he says one, he snaps the coat, one of the coat racks in half.
Mm-hmm.
Takes the sharpened, takes the bottom half of it, and basically turns it into a sort of stake.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, just in case. But what I've learned is there was a fight here, or something of that manner. And he points down at the 2 bullets lodged into the floor. Can I tell what kind of gun it is?
Roll either a handgun firearms check or an intelligence roll. Nice. Okay. While you can't seem to tell what kind of gun they came from, considering that the way that they've sort of exploded a bit on impact, you can tell that the bullets were fired from someone positioned a couple of steps up the stairwell over here. That it's at a certain angle, as if someone was trying to shoot something that was coming into the hallway itself from these steps here. And as you look down, obviously noticing the trajectory of the bullets, you see blood here on the ground.
It's all fucking coming together. Alright, Constance, let me paint you a picture.
Excuse me, when you see the blood, make a sanity roll. Good. This does not faze you.
Seen blood plenty of times. It doesn't bother me. So, Constance, look over there. And I point to the blood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck you. Constance looks and immediately recoils.
Sanity.
What do you think you were doing?
Oh, you're going to take
Thank you.
1 point to sanity.
She says, "Oh, that's grotesque. Have you no?"
Oh. My bad. I've seen it plenty of times in the Force. So, you saw that. What happened was, up in the stairwell, something came into the building. Whatever that was, obviously, I'm going to assume the lighthouse keeper didn't want it coming in and fired off shots. What I haven't ascertained yet is what's in that room over there and if it's still in the building. But I'm gonna go figure that out. I'll be right back.
I don't think you should be going anywhere on your own. Tony's kind of in the doorway, keeping an eye on Cecil, but also looking out towards where you guys are.
Mm-hmm.
We're all kind of spreading out a bit thin here, don't you think? If there's something that's prompting bullets being fired and grotesque things to, I don't know quite what you're seeing, but you look repulsed. Shouldn't we all stick together?
Tony, who's the officer here?
Well, you, but I don't want the officer here to be wandering away and leaving all of us behind.
Okay.
It's a very good point. You're the only one of us with... Well, to be honest, you're the only one who has any real chance of protecting us.
Jesus Christ. Alright, well,
Do you not have a civic duty? Why is that a Jesus Christ moment?
Listen, alright, and I hand Tony the stake.
What am I supposed to do with this?
If something comes near you, stab the hell out of it, alright? There is a chance. Constance, you are right. It is my civil duty. You saw that blood, somebody could be hurt, and that is my job, okay? And you are not going to stop me from doing it.
Wait, it was blood that you saw over there? Is there
I
a
saw
body to go
blood.
with it, or?
I don't know. That's I gotta go figure out. All right. So I'm not just trying to leave you. All right. I gave you my word. We all stick together, but there could be somebody in trouble, and I gotta go figure this out. All right.
Well, as the only other one armed here, I suppose.
You stay with Cecil. Constance, you can come with me if you want, or you can
What?
stay with him.
Come with you?
I mean, you can go with the guy. You can choose the guy with the gun, or the guy with the stick. Your choice.
I put my hand on Tony's shoulder and say, "Make sure you stay safe."
Yeah, sure. You too.
I wish I could talk some sense into this madman. Very well.
I'm gonna go down to door 6.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile, in the room, Cecil, you have finished your painting. Tony, you can see that he's finished this.
I'm gonna come up behind Cecil. Cecil, you seem a little bit in the zone there. You alright?
Have you ever seen anything like it?
I'm not very much of an art man unless it's at least like 50 years old, but I'm gonna look at the painting.
The one that Cecil's done.
The one that Cecil's done, yeah.
Make a sanity check.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't affect you.
I did that as me instead of Tony. It's some very interesting stuff. I can't say it's the kind of stuff I'd have on my wall.
No,
But that's the beauty of art, I
imagine
guess.
not.
Are you ready for a bit of a sit down? You've had quite a bump. How you feeling?
I feel like death.
Well, that doesn't sound too good. The other two are off playing amateur soldiers over there, so I don't think that's right for us right now, especially for you. How about we go find a nice comfy place to sit down, yeah?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Alright, do you want me to take your arm? Are you okay walking? I noticed you were a little bit rigid when you were walking over here before.
I had to see it.
That's okay. You've had a look. You've done some pretty pictures yourself as well. Tony's kind of looking at your face and your eyes to see like how transfixed you still are.
You obviously the picture that Cecil's painted is quite an accurate depiction of what he saw underwater. When you look at it, you notice the mouth. It's not an accurate depiction of what the creature could be. It's an accurate depiction of what Cecil saw. So you see the mouth pulled down into a grimace with its hard, cracked lips, with its jutting jaw, and its needle-like teeth. Its two white bulbous eyes staring at you, and the tiny horns where nostrils would be on the front of it, sort of as if it had two wide frog-like nostrils that they're just raised up like two little lumps like horns. And the top of its head and its surrounding features, it's like sort of round its cheeks and everything like that, just aren't there. It's just this face that's protruding from the darkness.
Do you want to take your new picture with you, or do you want to leave it here for now? We'll collect it on our way out.
No, I have to bring it with me.
Okay. Tony's face is just like kind of falls a little bit because he's like he doesn't want that next to him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you just keep a tight hold of that. We'll find a good place to relax. Yeah. Tony's gonna kind of lead Cecil As they go off down to investigate the blood,
Mhm.
I'll probably go into the other room over here.
So you
But,
cross the hallway and you obviously can see that like Cadence is just like, freaking out about this blood. And
Try and
Constance.
guard
Constance, sorry, I don't know why I keep calling you.
Cadence is the actual person.
Yeah, I keep looking at people's Discord names. Yeah, you see Constance is obviously like shivering at the sight of this blood. As you cross the hallway into this room, the room is dark. There is a light switch on the inside wall.
I'm going to flick the light switch.
And as the light sort of like flick, flick, ding, flicks on, you see that this is a bunk room, and it contains 3 neatly made beds. There's a large pile of books stacked tidily in the corner of the room, and there are also 3 large cupboards, each sort of like, one of them's open, and you can see that there's like towels hanging out of it, and like bedding and blankets and stuff. And yeah, that's what you can see in the room.
I'm gonna walk further in. Well, I was kind of expecting somebody to be somewhere at least. None of these beds are even like freshly used. If you want to take a sit down, if you're feeling a little bit wobbly or anything, this is probably a good place to do it. He seems like he's trying to like kindly suggest that, but also his glance moves from you and starts kind of rifling through some of the cupboard contents.
Okay.
I think he sits down on the edge of this bed, but doesn't lay down.
Cecil, roll a spot hidden for me, please. Ooh, nice. As soon as you sit down on this bed, you feel that the mattress is quite uncomfortable, as though there's something like stuffed inside it. And as you shift your like bum across, you notice that there's a tear in sort of the mattress as you've moved the quilts to the side. And inside there you find a gold coin, 6 loose bullets, and a pocket-sized notebook, which you can see what it says there, stuffed inside the mattress. And it reads, George Cassidy, previous criminal record, involved in smuggling, lights on water, small rowboat, found ship parts on North Shore, found gold coin on North Shore, bigger than just bootleg moonshine, what's going on? Smith said saw someone in the trees and peering through window, men on island at night, croaking noise, frogs. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Simon, you step over this blood, and as you do, you notice that there are a couple of coins, gold coins, in the blood.
I step over him. I have no interest in stealing them.
And yeah, you notice him step over them.
Yeah, so you go in there first and, say if it's appropriate for a lady like me to enter such a room.
I'll step in.
Alright. So the kitchen has some like dirty plates and a sauce pot in the sink. And there's a table with 3 chairs. And there are 3 doors in here. The one you've just come through, the one that leads into the study, and one that leads outside. There is a small wood-fired stove in the corner, which is here. And a still warm kettle sits on the hearth next to it. One of the chairs lies broken on the floor, and there's a small pool of blood right here on the floor beside it.
Someone got the head beaten with a chair, but
Oh, please talk quieter.
I'm no. He's speaking to himself.
Yeah, nobody's still saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He. Sorry, man. I talk to myself when I'm fucking solving cases. Don't judge.
It's Grizzly.
Grizzly.
So the only question is, was this before or after the incident with the bullets in the hallway? So is the blood going towards the entrance or towards the stairwell?
You see that... make an intelligence roll. Wow. Okay. You crouch down to the blood pool, and you determine that it's recent and formed within the last hour. And there's something not quite right about this blood at all. And you look at the chair, and you see that this chair has been used as a weapon. And that the blood seems to... let's have a look here. Yeah, it seems as though that the thing was... that whatever it was attacked in the kitchen first.
So this happened first, which led to most likely the person in the hallway moving to the stairwell, and the creature retreated briefly before possibly coming back for a round 2, in which the man fired off 2 shots and hopefully scared it off, but can't be too safe. I take the broken chair and I wedge it into door 5.
Mm-hmm. Do the intelligence check again to see if you can lodge it. Hey.
No, we're definitely trapped in with that.
Yeah. So that door is now lodged. Closed.
And I'll take a look around the kitchen and see if I can find anything.
Okay. So you root around in there. And the only thing that you can really find is what in one of the drawers is a sharp kitchen knife.
I grab that after having gotten what I think is an accurate representation of what I think is going on. And I say, Constance, how do you feel about keeping yourself armed just in case? And I hold the kitchen knife handle first out to her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for a moment I thought you were going to offer me the pistol. Although I do suppose it's better in the hands of someone who knows how to use it. I wouldn't want to use this thing, but...
Only as a last resort.
Only if I have to.
Hopefully we won't.
Mm-hmm.
Constance looks a little bit scared at the thought that she might have to arm herself.
Mm-hmm. So the way that you
I'd rather...
Yeah, sorry. I'll just let you know that the way that you would use this knife is you would use a fighting brawl check, and it deals 1d3 damage.
Okay. Has it been put in my inventory?
No, you've got to put it in yourself.
How do I do that? Oh yeah, that's...
Hopefully, that doesn't come, but I'd rather make sure you're safe.
What size is it, by the way?
It's the size of a like sharp kitchen knife, like a long sort of...
Yeah, so it's just because there's knife large, which is machete, but there's not that.
Oh,
then
no.
there's knife small switchblade and carving knife. Is it close to a switchblade or carving?
Carving knife.
Okay, thank you.
No, while she's, fiddling around with that, I'll move over to room 7.
Okay. Meanwhile, Cecil has just found this notebook, the bullets and the coins in the bedroom.
While Cecil finds and looks at that for the first time, I'm just going to be rifling around. Is there anything like in the cupboards and things here? I'll start at this one that I'm at.
It's just like bits of soap, towels and bedding.
Alright, so there's nothing personal from anyone in here, and you found something there? What you got? I'm gonna like look at Cecil, reading the stuff.
Sorry. What do you think it means?
Well, I was looking for names to see who we were looking for around here. I suppose that George is one of the people we're looking for. Lights on water. I suppose that this might be what Simon is here for. As he kind of reads down the list of things, he seems to be sweating just a little bit more. Croaking noise of frogs. That's confusing, but I mean, there's got to be some wildlife and stuff on the island, hasn't there? I'm sure that part means nothing, but where did you find this?
In the bed.
In this bed that you're on here? Kind of looks at the ripped part of the mattress. Well, I suppose there must be some messed up stuff happening in here if they feel they have to rip open their own bed sheets to hide stuff.
Peering through the window. That's like what Constance saw as well.
Saw someone in the trees? Well, there's obviously 3 people in here. So... Well, I want to say that maybe it was one of them that this Smith saw, but it probably wouldn't exactly be noteworthy if it was, would it?
Right.
Cecil, as you start sitting on that corner of the bed and how Tony's sort of standing in front of you, over his shoulder, behind him, you see a shadowy humanoid figure in this window here, and it's just standing there. You can't see its face, it's in the dark, and the rain's coming down on it. You see the rain sort of like shimmering down its body, and it just looks like a black sort of form. It's just standing there, right behind Tony's shoulder.
Oh, good heavens. There's a figure right behind you in the window.
What? I'm gonna turn around and have a look at it.
It's not there.
Silly Billy.
Are you sure? Can you still see something?
No, you can't.
No, it's not there anymore, but it was there just a second ago.
Alright, I keep trying to blame things on this knock to the head that you had, but obviously this shows that people are seeing stuff in the trees. Maybe it's one of them optical illusion things, you know? There's stuff out there, wildlife or something, people trick themselves into seeing more than they see. We should probably go and find the others, shouldn't we?
Yeah, that would be for the best.
Did you find anything else with this, or was it just the notebook that was there?
I hand over the bullets and the coin.
I'm gonna fiddle with the coin between my fingertips, like flicking it round, looking at both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything special about the gold coin? Does it have anything like printed or stamped on it or anything?
A praise roll, please.
Ooh,
Nice. That's just a meat, that is. Hey.
It meets it beats.
It makes it beats. You look at this coin, and it appears to be made of solid gold. It's quite large too, like a sort of let me just see how big I can describe this. It's almost like 5 centimeters in diameter, like a chocolate coin size. Rather large, heavy, solid gold, and on one side of the coin appears to depict an obelisk of some sort, and the other side is covered in strange sigils and disturbing designs.
Have I seen any coin like this before?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of look at it. I've got a whatchamacallit, jeweler's loop as well, so I'm just gonna use that to look at it for a little bit closer. I don't know where this came from. I'm guessing from the letter it's the one that they found up on the shore.
When you look when you look further, you see the sort of symbols have a somewhat of an underlying aquatic theme to the designs. Make an occult roll.
Oh.
Yeah, you have no idea what these mean, or what they could mean, or what they could even be connected to, like at all. But you feel as though that it holds some deep, deep meaning unknown to you and everyone else.
All I can say is that this looks quite unique, and I think it's made out of solid gold. So, I mean, in my line of work, this would be worth quite a bit. It kind of pockets it. I'm not sure how Cecil reacts to that, but he's also going to do the same with the notebook as well. Right, well, we should go and see if the others have found anything more conclusive as to where any of these 3 guys are.
Right.
So you make your way to the hallway, just as these 2 are about to open the door into a larder.
Oh, it's these gentlemen.
Hey, Tony, Cecily, you guys find anything worthwhile?
We found some strange ramblings. I kind of think that maybe we're not the only ones that were a little bit paranoid in this building.
Strange ramblings.
Can I? What are you talking about?
Yes, it's in this tattered notebook. On the way to the doorway, can I have ripped off the top line that was in these notes?
Roll a stealth. That's right. Sleight of hand.
This is not going to go well.
Everyone sees you do this as they've sort of like met you in the hallway, like as you were coming through the door. That's when you did this, and you do it. You pocket the strip that you take from it. But yeah.
I take the rest of the piece of paper out of his hand. I'm just going to read it aloud. Lights on water, small rowboat. Shore ship. Found ship parts on North Shore. Found gold coin on North Shore. Something's going on the North Shore. Bigger than just bootleg moonshine. What's going on? Clearly it's something to do with this smuggling you've been talking about. Smith said saw someone in trees and peering through window. Men on island at night. Croaking noise. Frogs.
Tony.
Yeah, speaking of...
What you put in your pocket?
Oh, that was just nothing. A bit of the paper just came off. It was a bit tattered.
Yeah, that's the clearly the strip of paper missing off the top of this, right?
Yeah. When Cecil found it, it was just stuffed in the bed sheets. I think it must have caught and ripped a bit. So I just
yeah, it makes sense. Why don't you? Do you mind if I take a look at it?
Officer, this is clearly beside the point. If it said strange, duck-footed horned monster was lurking around, I don't think he would have taken it off.
Yeah,
Yes.
it didn't say anything.
If it didn't say anything, then I'd like to see it.
Officer, let him protect his interests for now. If it's something...
No, because he ripped that thing, he's hiding something.
And if
we're going to work together, there has to be everything out. So... Tony, I'm going to have to ask you politely to show me that piece of paper.
Very well. The officer raises a fair point. Tony, show us the piece of paper.
As Tony reaches into his pocket to get the bit of paper out, what's the note written with? Just out of curiosity.
It's written in like in like an ink pen that's dried.
So, like, rubbing the paper isn't going to do much to smudge it, but he's going to try and do that anyway.
It could, because you've been describing that you've been sweating this whole time. So if you were to rub, like, if you were to rub fast with your thumb, yeah, you could possibly smudge. But that's going to take a hard sleight of hand.
Oh, okay.
Because it's very clearly obvious if you were making that much movement. Yeah. It smudges, but it's still legible.
Still legible. Okay.
I snatch it.
George Cassidy.
George Cassidy, previous criminal record involved in smuggling.
Are you involved in smuggling, Tony?
Hey, no. I won't have any of these accusations against me. No.
I fucking knew it. Why else would you hide that piece of paper?
Wait, officer. Let's do the reasonable thing and allow him to explain himself. Perhaps George Cassidy is just a friend of his and he's trying to protect his friend's interests.
Yeah, no, you're gonna try to protect the fucking smugglers. Alright, you two back up. Tony, into the room.
Wait, officer, what are you doing?
Shut the hell up.
I don't understand any implication on me here because the name written down is not mine.
That's true.
But I have to confess that what she says is true. I do know Georgie from back in the day. And I don't believe that the Georgie I knew would be involved in anything looking like this, so I just don't want you guys going off on the wrong scent and believing lies written in a notebook that'll take us down the wrong road.
Furthermore, this is not the time for an arrest. You don't even have an arrest warrant.
While they're all talking, actually, I do, and I pull out my warrant card.
Oh, very well. I still do not think this is the appropriate time for an arrest, however.
That's not your call. While they're all talking, can I run through my head and see if I've ever seen, heard about any records for George or Tony in, the database?
Let's have a look here. You can. Please roll. Roll. Where is it now?
Is it law?
Yes, that's the bugger.
Yeah. Nice, hard success.
You recall George Cassidy, and you recall one Anthony Teeks. Specifically, a long time ago. Let's have a look here. Diddle-a-doo. Several years ago, you acknowledge the fact that it was actually George who was arrested, but Tony Teeks' name was mentioned, not as being complicit in a crime, just as having known this person as someone who knocked about with him.
Tony Anthony Teeks. I'm placing you into custody of ward.
For what crime, may I ask?
For suspect of aiding George Cassidy and smuggling on whatever the place I said earlier, Rockport, I think it is. Rockport.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're not under. Okay, hold up, Buster. I wasn't done talking. You do not interrupt an officer when he talks to you. You're not under arrest, but you will be placed under custody of ward for questioning about George Cassidy. Are we understood?
I suppose I understand, but on what grounds do you have? Somebody suggests that he might be doing criminal activity? You've not witnessed anything. You've got no evidence that he's actually doing anything.
Actually, destruction of evidence.
You ripped off this section of paper. I could get you for obstruction of justice right here, right now. So if you want to keep talking, go ahead, Anthony.
Tony, he's only asking you.
Taken with me, officer, but I'll answer.
Well, obviously you're trying to protect Mr. Cassidy, so you know something about him. Anyways, Constance is right. Now's not the time for this, but after, if we get out of here, you will be questioned, and I will get my answers.
Constance goes up to Cecil. And how are you feeling? Is your head still woozy?
But I have to ask, do you know anything about creatures that look like this? And he, like, kind of fervently just thrusts the painting towards her.
I'm gonna make the sanity check, but I'd also like to make to see if I succeed.
Good.
But I'd also like to make some sort of examination of it, because obviously this, and because
it'd be a biology or zoology roll to see what.
Oh,
whoa,
shit,
jeez, Louise. Right, okay. The first one that came through was a failure, so
that's a shame.
Yeah, but when you see it, you can't identify this creature, but it looks somewhat similar to the face of an anglerfish. It's just too large and too overblown in its proportions.
This is very strange. So this thing... Well, do you know what an anglerfish is, everyone?
Yes.
Quite good. I'm just not sure how much is common knowledge. Yes.
No, can you please explain to me what an anglerfish is?
Well, the simple rundown is it is a very strange-looking fish that lives very deep in the sea. You remember when I said back on the ship, there's so much in the unexplored depth of the ocean that we simply don't know about? Well, I think whatever is lurking around here must be one of those unexplained things. Although, why it is so close to the surface, I shall never know. Well, maybe I shall. Maybe we shall find out.
Alright, well, Tony, you're not under arrest, so, continue with what you were doing. I just had to let you know.
Also,
thank you for cooperating.
Simon, when you did look into this room, by the way, you were hot, you'd opened the door and peeped in there. You noticed that it was literally just a larder filled with enough food to sort of see 3 people through if cut off from all the mainland for several months. There's dried, canned, preserved foods, months worth of food in here. That's all there is in there as well. So, just letting you know what you peeped into.
Perhaps we should head towards the North Shore at some point.
Yeah, we'll do that in a second. I want to check something. I'm heading upstairs.
Alright.
Shall we come with you, officer?
You can.
Okay. So you head into the lighthouse itself. And the stairs, I will just move you over to this bit of the map here. So you're to the left side of the map. So it's almost like a side-on look. So, like, yeah, you're at the bottom of the stairs there. Cecil, I guess, is at the back, looking very, very haunted right now. Yeah, and you get to the base of this lighthouse. Let me just see here. Boop. Yeah. This is, let's have a look. Yeah, you see the spiralling staircase as it rises up through the centre of the lighthouse. Yeah, that's what you see when you get to the top of these stairs. Sort of metal circling. As you look up, it almost like sort of lilts and tilts a little bit in your vision as your head sort of, like, the blood rushes as you look upwards to it. It's very, very high up. It's a very long way.
This. I don't like this one bit. Are you sure we need to go up there?
He says it might be useful to fix the lighthouse first. I have this manual. Maybe we can do something with that.
Oh, I understand that, but what if there's something up there? It could.
Well, let me go first then. But
the thing is, what the even scarier thing? What if there isn't something up there? But something comes through the window, and we all go up there.
Well, I can stand at the back with your permission, officer, and I've got the stabby stick still, so we have a gun at the front, and I can stab and push it down the stairs if it tries to follow us up.
But what if it's something that's much bigger than you and can claw through you in an instant, or grab you and swallow you whole into its mouth?
Simon laughs.
Oh, this is also funny for you, officer.
Oh, it is. Nonsense. You didn't believe me before. What changed?
I don't think you understand how science works, to be honest.
Yes, but I understand when something's unnatural.
Well,
and it doesn't seem like you were taking me very seriously before.
I shall tell you this. I did not believe you, nor did I deny anything. I simply kept a skeptical mind about things. And once I realized that things truly could be as you say, then I started to take concern with what was going on, as a good scientist does.
Okay. If that's the case, listen to what I'm saying. Have I gotten us killed yet?
Yet.
I don't plan on it. Alright?
I wouldn't have thought you would plan on us dying.
I've seen people die on freak accidents in the force, alright? So anything can happen. It's my job to make sure that I do everything I can to prevent that. Alright? I'll head up. I'll lead back. I feel like a gun would be better than a stabby stick.
Are you sure? I feel like if it is up there, well, I mean, how much use is a gun at point-blank range anyway? When it could so easily slap the gun out of your hand.
It'd have to be quicker than my bullet to do that.
And what if it was? Then what?
If it's quicker than a bullet, I don't think any of us have much of a chance anyways.
What if you don't see it in time?
Then we're all dead.
I don't think you're thinking this through, officer. There should not be an eventuality in a good plan that if we do something wrong, it means we are just dead.
Listen, you can stay down here in the rooms of the lighthouse. I'm gonna go get light because I know for a fucking fact I wouldn't want to go into that fucking island without light.
You also have the fact that our boat sank because that light went out. We don't want anybody else having to do the same things that we've done.
I suppose it's the right thing to do.
Simon's heading up the stairs. He's not waiting for a second opinion. He's going.
All right.
I still wish that officer wouldn't march head on to his own death and bring us with him.
You see him.
Constance says as she follows.
Yep, you see him ascending these stairs. And the stairs are very creaky and wobbly. They make loud sort of metallic noises as your feet press up against them. And you emerge into this room and you are greeted by a wet and bloody scene. You aren't up in the actual beacon itself, you are in the sort of room below it, the sort of the machinery room, if that makes sense. It's this service room. And let's see here. You see... Oh, excuse me, it's not a wet and bloody scene, it's the next one. That's me making a mistake. You see the service room. Excuse me, reevaluate your minds right now. Located immediately below the lantern room. The mechanism used to turn the lamp can be seen mounted on the ceiling, and from the noise it appears to be still working. So you can presume from that the huge mirror that shines the light out is still circling around. A separate set of steps lead up through a trapdoor into the lantern room above, and there are several boxes stored here. There's also a small workbench and a tool bag.
Didn't Simon see a lantern?
A lantern?
Yeah, I believe you told me down here near the entrance there was a spare lantern.
Down at the entrance hall, yeah, there is a lantern. The gas lamp.
The gas lamp.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the kind of lamp that you would use in a lighthouse? I don't know how lighthouses work.
No, there's a set of mirrors.
Mm-hmm. There's like one massive bulb, like a huge bulb, and then that bulb gets shined off of a huge mirror. Yeah, so that's how that works. It's like a concaved, huge, circular metal thing, but that's obviously not in this room. But in the boxes, if you look, you can see that there's like replacement bulbs for the lighthouse's beacon. It is run off electric.
Simon's gonna take the spare one of the spare bulbs, grab the toolbox, and with the manual that he grabbed from earlier, attempt to assess the situation and fix it.
Wait, Simon, I've just had a thought.
Yes?
I mean, if there are things out there, and there aren't things in here, let's say there are things out there, they don't know where we are. In fact, as far as they're concerned, we aren't here at all. Unless we somehow signal to them that we are. Like, let's say, our lantern. A giant one. Like a homing beacon.
As you're talking, Simon's like screwing in things and fixing things.
Simon, please stop. They clearly don't like the light. I mean, think of it
He's
this
not
way.
listening.
Yeah, you're not.
He's going.
You've got to go up the stairs into the actual beacon room itself to fix it, because this isn't where the light is. This is the room below the light. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's walking up the stairs.
Okay, now you're greeted by a wet and bloody scene, and two.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. So you walk up there. You just march straight up there, ignoring her. And
continues protesting.
Yeah, as soon as you walk in there, you sort of, the shattered remains of like glass sort of crunch under your foot. Like there are 2 panes of glass in the lantern room's windows have been broken. So obviously you're walking into a room that's like all windows, 2 panes are broken, and the glass is underfoot. Rain's like blowing in through the gaps, sort of making the metal decking really slippery underfoot. And when you look down at the sort of rain, you see this blood seeping from the corpses of 2 men. Along with that, from 2 bizarre fish-like creatures which lie inside the room's narrow confines. One of the dead fish things is latched onto one of the men's necks by its teeth. Those long, needle-like teeth with its jutting jaw, even in death, is still sort of sucking onto him. Make a sanity check.
Everyone.
That's one hell of a fucking scene to walk into.
Failure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
2 failures so far. Oh, Tony succeeds. Oh, 3 failures and a Tony.
Okay, so, Constance.
Yep.
You are going to take 5. Oh god, that's bad. Right, we'll deal with you in a minute. It's 5 at once as well, and that's big. That's like the maximum. Oh wait. Okay, thank god Tony didn't fail that one. This one is for Simon.
Terrible.
Oh my god! This one is for Cecil. 4 for Cecil. Cecil, what? How many sanity points have you lost so far?
Let's see. I started with 60, and now I have 49.
Okay.
What?
Right. Okay.
Oh no!
Okay. Okay. Let me just see something here. All right.
Poor guy.
Okay. Give me a quick second. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. This is bad. This is very bad. Okay. So I will be messaging people.
Oh god.
Oops, I can't do that. How do I?
This is fun. I love this game.
Okay. So Simon, don't do this yet.
Wait
Just
until directed.
yeah, wait until directed. That's been whispered, hasn't it?
No.
Oh shit!
Nobody look.
Right,
Nobody-
nobody look. Oh, that's incorrect anyway. That didn't copy properly, so ignore that.
But also, if you want Simon, don't read it.
Yeah. I don't know why that didn't whisper. So whisper. Oh, fucking Jesus Christ. Simon. Yep. If I just type some crap to you, does that? Yeah, okay, that actually works.
Just hide it. You can actually hide it.
How do I do that? Oh yeah.
If you.
Yep, got it. Right, okay. Whisper Simon. Paste. No, fucking hell! What the hell?
Doing it.
I can't do it. Right, I'm just gonna
Just DM
message you.
him.
I'm just gonna message you on Discord because it's easier.
There you go.
Okay, right.
Maybe,
Okay,
like, cover it
so
so I
that's
don't meta.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, don't meta game. Okay. Now we've got. Now we have marine biologist.
Who's that?
That's you.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay.
You only just found out you're a marine biologist.
And what's very interesting is that Cecil, you are going to hold on as if this very moment, as soon as obviously we're going to wait till directed, but as soon as everyone's gonna, like everyone except Tony, is gonna start freaking out here, Cecil, it's almost like you are snapped into this sort of weird primal instinct to survive, as you are looking down upon these creatures that you've been seeing in your mind, in under the sea, in these paintings. This instinct kicks in to survive. Tony, you look down upon the body of George Cassidy, who has the fish creature bitten into his neck there is a man garbed in a heavy hooded raincoat with a narrow head and like pronounced flaps of skin around his neck and jowls. He doesn't look like one of these guys. So I'm just going to show you a handout of what these things look like.
So scary.
It's fucking weird as fuck.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And they're wearing clothes.
Uh-huh. Now, so, okay. Yes, this guy in the suit. His sort of bulging, watery eyes stare sightlessly in the direction of Cassidy's corpse, as well. And you can see that this thing has been shot twice. And you can see that Cassidy's corpse has been shot as well. Once through the eye, and once through his belly. And yeah, beyond these obvious fish-like appearances, you can sort of see that these are not species of fish. They're not recorded anywhere in any book, known to any investigators at all.
How exciting!
However, you see that these things, when the bullets entered their bodies, it only killed them because they went into the softest, fleshiest, most vulnerable parts of their bodies, and the rest of the scaly exteriors, though penetrable, are coarse and tough. And you see that this is mainly Cecil and Tony who are having these thoughts, by the way, that like shooting these would be incredibly difficult because of the fact that they're kind of armoured in the thing. And you also notice on their bodies these weird sort of needles that are produced from their like dorsal fins. You notice again there are some sort of needles in Cassidy's body, as if they can shoot needles as well, and they are like coated with some sort of green slime that you can only guess is some sort of venomous poison. Yeah.
If no one's having reactions just yet,
not just
Tony
yet.
is gonna go up to George Cassidy's body.
Mm-hmm.
Georgie, what the fuck did you get yourself into?
As you get
He's
closer,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say say what you want to do first.
I was just gonna say, like, a tear kind of comes out to his eye, but before he inspects Georgie a bit closer, he's gonna look at this suited and booted fish gentleman, and rather than sadness, anger is gonna kind of take over a bit. He's gonna ball his fist around the stake that he's got and stand over the fish guy and try and just stake him through the middle. Even though it's already dead, well, he assumes it's dead, he's going to try and stake it through.
And I'm going to try to stop him and be like, that's
you're
destroying evidence.
No, you're not. You're not going to do anything.
No,
because you're not going to do anything right now. Because you're going to do something in a minute. So, yeah, Tony, you bend down. You just take that stake and just like slam it against his chest, and it just like splinters up into your hand. It's like hitting against the sort of like armour of it, and as you're sort of crying on George, you see that under his shirt, in a bag tied around his neck, you see this purse, this really heavy purse, on him.
I'm gonna take the purse and open it to see what's inside.
You see a fuckload of those coins in there. And also, as you sort of move his clothes to pull this bag out, you see a Colt M1877. A gun. All of the bullets in the chamber have been spent.
Is a Colt a handgun or a different type of gun?
It's a handgun.
Familiar with guns.
Yeah,
handgun.
it's a revolver.
Oh.
Right.
It's not reloaded. It's empty completely. So all
If
the
only
bullets are
someone had
empty.
guns, the bullets.
You notice that you count up the bullet wounds. There are 2 bullets that seem to be unaccounted for. Roll a spot hidden.
Ooh. That is a failure.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the handgun anyway,
Mm-hmm.
in the hopes of finding ammo afterwards. And if George's eyes are open, I'm gonna close them and kind of pocket the purse full of coins while also saying, "This wasn't worth going back to it, Georgie. It just wasn't." And I'm gonna kind of like look up to the others as if I'm gonna answer back to Simon
You look.
because of all the criminal stuff. But
When you look up to them first, Simon's sort of turning away from you. But you notice. You notice Constance first.
Oh, sorry. Do you want me to describe it?
Well, what are you doing, Constance?
Yeah, so as you see me, I'm sort of stood there. I guess my hands are, like, I'm stood, like, straight up. My hands sort of, like, locked into, like, my sides. And I'm just sort of looking far into the distance, kind of like, in a really weird, inorganic sort of way to stand. It looks very uncomfortable, and I'm stood on my, like, tippy toes. And I begin to, well, I guess I've been speaking all this time, but you just haven't noticed. Homoranus Americanus, Calinectus Sapidus, Centropistis Striata, Brio and Sigluaca, Sionis Regalis.
Constance, are you? I'm gonna click my fingers towards Constance's face. Are you okay? I know this is a heavy situation to be found in. We can go back downstairs if you need to.
Homoranus Americanus, Calinectus Sapidus.
Cecil, can you help me knock some sense back into Constance over here?
Cecil kind of grabs Constance by the shoulders and like gently shakes her a little bit to see if it snaps her out of it.
Homoranus Americanus, Calinectus Sapidus, Centropistis Striata,
And then you look over to Simon.
Regalis, Homoranus
Officer.
Americanus.
We got a problem over here. Do you know what you can do to help?
Centropistis
And I
Striata.
look over at Simon.
Simon kind of, as you say that, he looks at you and like a really hard look goes in his eyes, and he points his gun at you, and he's like, "Fuck you, fuck this place, I'm getting the hell out of here. This is way too fucking much, and there's nothing you can do to stop me." And you can see he has a crazy look in his eyes. And that second part, Jenna, how would you have me do that?
The involuntary action.
Yeah.
However you want.
And I'm gonna look at Tony and I'm gonna be like, "This
Tony
all
puts his
fucking
hands up.
started because of you. You were tampering with fucking evidence. You knew George Cassidy. It's all because of you."
Hey,
And I'm
by
gonna
the
shoot
time
him.
we came in here,
Hey.
okay, as soon as I get those words out, bam.
So make a handgun check, and you can attempt to dodge if you want. Whoa. Okay. Alright, yes, you shoot, you're waving this gun around crazy, and as you shoot it, it just like, pew, shoots and like bounces off the giant mirror that the sort of lighthouse has got in the centre of it. As this mirror's oscillating around, it turns towards you, and you can see that it's already smashed, even if you hadn't shot it. You see that even if you put a new fucking bulb in this shit, it's not going to work, because the mirror is gone. Like, as you shoot, you're shooting into the back of the mirror, and there's no glass on it at all anyway. It's fucking futile. But you are still on your about this you know, you're the attempt to flee bit. You are on that shit right now. Yeah, you shot at him, and now you want to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I'm running.
So Simon just starts belting it down the stairs. You can just see this like clang, 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 clang of his feet as he's running. What's the name? Constance is rooted to the spot. Cecil and Tony are the only people that seem to have maintained any sanity here.
Tony's gonna lean down the stairway as Simon runs away and yell, "Good fucking riddance, you fed!" and then turn back to Constance. Fucking Cecil, any ideas on how we can cover her eyes at least? Maybe if she doesn't see any of this stuff, she'll be feeling a bit better.
Cecil puts a hand over her eyes and kind of puts his other hand around her shoulder and tries to like gently guide her down the stairs.
And all the while she's repeating those
words, Americanos, etc.
Yeah, you come sort of like carefully down the stairs as Simon's just fleeing. He runs to that front door with the chair, pulls it open. And Simon, you have faculties, like you can control yourself, but your only intention is to flee. As soon as you get outside onto the actual into the actual island itself, you have no idea where to go. Like, you have no clue what you're going to do. It's just a absolute rage-fueled need to escape.
If I have my faculties, can I remember the North Shore and head towards there?
You can. I'm just going to pop on this map for a second. You run straight over to the North Shore. You guys are all still in there. We'll just pop you all. Yeah, there we go. You run over to the North Shore on this pier, and your feet just like bang against the wood of this pier. And you get to the very end of it, your little tiptoe, so lean down, and underneath you see this roiling waves underneath you.
I'm not jumping, am I?
No, you don't have to jump, but you can't escape because there's no way to get away.
There's nowhere to go.
No, there's nowhere to go.
We're trapped here. As he comes to this realization, Simon kind of like grabs his head and just starts like screaming. Like he's fully like he's finally coming to the realization. He doesn't think I don't think we're getting out of here alive. Everything's gone to shit. There's fucking fish people. There's dead corpses. I mean, I've seen shit on the force, but nothing like this.
You hear, as you grab onto your head and scream out loud, as soon as you scream, you hear a scream sort of matching yours in the distance. You hear,
my turnaround
in your mind, fill with these sort of maddening whispers. These strange mumblings, and nothing makes any sense anymore. Like, you're on your own at the end of this pier. You look back at the cottage and the lighthouse, and the doorway remains open, and through the hallway you can't see anyone, as these are taking their time coming down the stairs. But you don't know that. You're on your own.
Simon at this point would probably try to like fire a couple shots into the dark. Even though he doesn't see it, yeah, he can feel it. But he doesn't know where it's at. But it would make him feel a little bit better to fire bullets into the distance.
You guys make it down the stairs, and you can just hear this screaming coming from outside, paired with this screaming of this like animalistic growling. You stare down the hallway to the open door, out into the darkness, What do you do?
Am I still insane?
You are still insane.
I'm gonna keep doing that then.
Tony's gonna kind of look out towards Simon screaming and just say to Cecil, and to a lesser extent, Totherin. Totherin. He's gone absolutely fucking insane. Like, you saw those things up there, right? The best thing we can do is stay quiet, try and make it look as if we're not even here.
Americanus!
And that includes you, and I'm gonna collapse my hand over your mouth.
Why would he go outside?
I have no idea, but I think he might end up trying to... With what he's doing, he could bring them to us. I think we should go and shut him up. I don't know how to do that without suggesting something drastic, but...
Shut him up? Certainly you can't kill him?
I don't want to suggest it, but rather him than us, right? You saw those things up there, you saw the teeth. I have one gun with no bullets. That guy out there, he's got all of the bullets, and he's the one going around screaming, giving away where we are? Does that seem fair to you?
No, it doesn't, but if...
Question.
Yes.
Can I see Tony in the doorway?
No, they're like far down in the hallway. Unless Tony comes to the door, you won't see them.
Okay, real quick. I'm gonna message you something.
Uh-huh.
Well, Jason has become a force for destruction.
Hey, if I'm suggesting killing the loud ones, guess who's next?
No way.
Oh no.
I don't think she's yelling, I think she's just saying it.
Yeah, I think you're definitely one that can be dealt with, whereas Simon's gone off the rails right now.
Yeah, it's just described as reciting the names of marine species in a strangled tone of voice. So, she's not yelling.
Those who are insane hear these whisperings in your mind. You feel your heart rate just thumping against your chest.
If you don't have any bullets, how would you even...
I don't actually have a plan for that, really. And he already tried to shoot me once, so I'm not exactly a fan of showing my face in front of him again. Do you have any ideas that'll just, keep him quiet? Maybe if we knock him out, we don't have to kill him, but we can hide him in here with us.
Yeah.
You guys don't see this, but Tony walks towards Simon sneaks back towards the lighthouse, and he mutters to himself, he's the problem. If I kill him, the problem will be solved. If Tony dies, then maybe everything will go back to normal.
Alright, you start slowly walking with this absolute swagger of this is the right thing to do, this is the right thing to do. As you get to about here, you see flashes of fast creatures in these bushes here. You see them running down to sort of the back area of the lighthouse. Guys, when he gets to about here, you see this shadowy form, this hulking, big-shouldered guy holding a gun in his hand as he's making his way closer towards the hallway with the door wide open, the rain slashing down on him outside. He's coming.
Tony, come on out, buddy.
Ah, shit. Tony's gonna run
There's
up
always
and try
you.
He's going to try and slam the door and jam the chair under it again if he has time before Simon gets there.
Alright, this is going to be sprinting against each other check. So, like, as you're going to run down the hallway, fucking Simon's coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that will be, let's have a look here at the rolls. It'll be a dexterity each to sprint over there. Okay. You both make it to the door at the exact same time.
Can I ram the door and fucking try to get in?
Hit me with a strength if you want to try and contest that, Tony. Hit me with a strength. Yep.
Oh god. Oh, successes all around.
Both successes, yep. That's the thing. Because of the massive difference there with the 71 and the 53, you're going to run straight over there and you're going to slam the door right in his face, but he's going to bash up against it and it pushes against your hands as he's bashing up against this door.
I'm going to try and jam the chair in front of under the door handle, and then move away from the door as quickly as possible because homeboy's got a gun.
Okay, intelligence to jam the chair. You maintaining this? Oh, that's good. Yeah, okay. You jam the chair under the door. Give me one more, and I'm going to say this now is going to be half your number to succeed on this one, Simon. Make that strength, and you've got to beat half your number. Wow!
Oh.
Yeah, you stick that chair right under there.
Sorry, I'm way too excited.
And literally, Simon's pressing up against it, and you see the door just stop for a minute, as if he's taking a huge run up, and you just hear the beating of sloshing footsteps against outside in the mud, and this crack, and the door just slams straight open. The chair goes flying out in front of you. It actually hits you as it passes, and the door just bangs against the wall. Simon's standing there staring you down.
I fucking aim and fire.
Right.
I'm gonna get my belts ready.
So fire that gun. Woo. Right. Dodges the success! Alright, okay. So yeah, you fire the gun, it narrowly misses Tony's head. Tony, you just move slightly out of the way, it's very close.
I'm gonna get my brand new Colt handgun out and point it at Simon. You're not the only one who can shoot, motherfucker. Now stop.
I'm firing again.
Alright. How many bullets have you got left?
I have 4 in the chamber.
Okay.
How many did you shoot?
I shot one at Tony earlier on top of the lighthouse, and I shot. I would say that I shot in the dark and reloaded, so all the shots I made in the dark I probably would have reloaded at.
You would have started with 12 in total. So
okay, so I'll say I have I shot one, shot him again, shot 3 into the dark, so I have 7.
7 left. Okay. Ooh, right.
I don't watch this time.
Right, okay. Yep, this time it's going to get you. Roll that damage for the gun.
It's a D10 plus what?
It's a D10 plus what?
What's the...
You should have it... Oh, there it is. It's 10 damage.
It's not even alive anymore.
Can I just ask a clerical question? If someone were to die, who would describe it? The killer or the dyee?
The killer.
How do you want to do this, Jason?
Kind of backtrack a little bit. You bar this door, and Simon's a big man, even at 56. He's fucking built. Just fucking kicks the door in, and as this chair smacks you in the forehead, Tony, and he aims and fires, misses the first time, and he says, and as you say, don't make a motherfucking muscle. I'm like, you should know better than me, buddy. I was in law school. That doesn't have any bullets. And I fire, and you just feel a bullet click right between your eyes. And the last thing you see as you drop to the floor is Simon, grinning crazily over your body as he goes towards the other two.
What, you killing all of us?
Cecil and fucking hell, I keep forgetting your name. Constance. You've seen someone get shot to death. Make a sanity check.
Have I really seen someone get shot to death?
You managed to. Okay, Cecil, you are overwhelmed by this feeling of survival right now. Like, you do not. This isn't phasing you because you're already like, no, we need to survive. Make that sanity check, please.
Well, I can't even see it. Who's to say that even extreme success? Hey, am I out of my insane?
You're not out of your insane yet,
wow.
But Cecil, it's literally down to you to get the fuck out of here with her. That's it.
I mean,
there was a back door, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm
through the
grabbing
kitchen.
Constance's hand and bolting for the back door.
Okay. You get to the kitchen where the chair is. The chair is obviously designed to keep things out, so you can just move the chair and get the fuck out of there. And yeah, you sort of escape out of the back kitchen door into this area here. You see that there's a bunch of sort of buildings down here, and you see that all around you are just these trees and bushes.
Still holding on to Constance, I'm making a beeline for the buildings.
Alright, okay. You start sprinting through this mud where the tracks would have led you if not for the rain smushing them all into smithereens. Which building are you going into?
The one without monsters in it, please.
Yeah, right. This one.
So this middle one?
Yes.
Okay. You burst your way into there. It's an outhouse. Let me just see where my things are. Skibidi-bidi-doop-doop-doop-doo. Where the fuck is the outhouse? This is really quick shit that I can't do. What the fuck? I can't find the outhouse. Let me just try and find it. 5 outhouse. Yep. Okay. Yeah, there are 2 sheds. Smaller shed. Where's that? Okay. Right. Yep, you get in there. Right, okay, yeah, fuck it. It's not an outhouse. That's just labelled wrong. Yeah, that's actually behind this shed. In this shed here, you run in there, and you see that this is a generator. That's running an electric generator. There's copious amounts of gasoline and firewood in here. There is a leak in the roof, and raindrops spatter through it onto the electrical equipment below. I'd say roll stealth, both of you. Okay. I'd say with a massive 88 there. Yeah, both fail. Okay, yeah, Constance, you're still like continuously saying these words as Cecil's just dragging you through this mud. As soon as you get into this room, you just slam the door behind you. Yeah. Meanwhile, Simon, you're standing in the hallway looking down at Tony's body. You've seen them run off through the kitchen.
I probably would have followed after them just because at this point, I might be insane, but I am also a police officer and I know the evidence has to be covered. So I'm going after them.
You run through the kitchen, same way. You notice that they've moved they've thrown that chair across the room. As soon as you fling the door open and you stand outside, you see standing in front of you
Haha, you deserve it.
is one of these
I do.
one of these creatures standing right there in front. It's not actually that big. It's just literally staring right at you. It's going to I'm going to shit myself. Yeah, you see it's like the head of it is like the body of like an anglerfish. Sorry, the head of it is like an anglerfish. The body of it's like that, like sort of a long amphibian humanoid creature. Elongated spiny fins, muscular arms, and the hands have like these 3 sharp claws. He like lifts them up in front of you, and he's going to slash at you. Blah 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 blah. Do and miss. He's like as he what's he gonna do? Blah 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 blah. Yeah, what do you do? He misses.
Seeing this thing, would it be possible for Simon to come out of whatever fucking rage he was in?
No. And if anything, it'd make you worse.
I'm shooting it.
All right.
I'm gonna as this thing misses me, I'm gonna put my gun right up to its head and just fire.
Okay. All right, roll that shoot. Ooh, nice. Give us that damage. You fucking kill it. You literally kill it straight away. You just lift your gun to its head, bam! It just fucking shoots backwards and like lands like with its head on the ground. Oh my god.
I don't even waste a beat. I'm like, see you in hell, bitch. And can I see Cecil and Constance's tracks in the mud?
You roll a spot check. Because obviously the mud is like sliding around all over the place.
I am the main character. I'm the.
Ooh! Right, no, because you see that this fucking creature's feet is like trodden all over it, so you can't see where they've gone.
Would I have? Okay, I probably wouldn't have heard a door or anything slam with all the rain in the fight that I just had.
No. So meanwhile, guys, you're in this generator room. You heard a gunshot. Fucking, this is what you just hear, this bam in the background.
I think I'm bringing Constance and we're going down to the other pier to see if maybe there's another boat.
Alright. You grab hold of Constance. You take a look out of the door. And when you look out the door, you see this youngling, that's what it's called, surprise everyone. You see it dead on the ground. And you see Simon right there. Are you going to make a run for it?
Yep.
Alright, here we go. Okay. Let's have Dex just from Cecil, because right now, you know, she's fucking off her head. Yes! Oh, that's a hard success. Alright, here we go. Cecil, you just grab her and just drag her out of the building. You run like your life depends on it, all the way down to this south pier. Ooh, I have got so many tabs open right now.
Do I see that?
You might just give me a second. Roll a stealth, Cecil, just to see if you could get out of there in time. Sorry, without being noticed. No, yeah, you're gonna see this. But they are running like their life depends on it. So let me just see something here. Alright, okay. Diddle-diddle-do. You found this worn out pier. Tied to it is a yellow painted rowboat, and the lights of a small town can be seen in the distance. Some of Rockport's famous granite quarries can be spotted to the south-southwest.
I put Constance in the boat first.
Mm-hmm.
And I untie it from the pier.
Alright. Rake Dex for me, please, Simon. Yep, you come sprinting over as Cecil's like hurriedly untying this rope. They are standing on the pier as you come out of this thicket. And as you come out of this thicket, so do several other of these creatures out of the bushes. Here we go. They sort of come out in like a sort of very evil, like swaggering way, as they sort of, what's the word, like almost creep their way around. Let's have a look here. Boop. And sort of surround you. There's actually 3 of them because it says that's the amount of leftover, what's the word, leftover investigators. That's how many there are. And yes, so Cecil, you're trying to unravel the rope. You see Simon emerge from this thicket along with 3 of these creatures. Simon, what are you doing?
So they haven't caught up to me yet.
The creatures are literally surrounding you right now.
Is there a way for me to like, in my fit of insanity, I'm gonna sprint straight for Cecil and Constance.
Alright. So now we're going to do Dex off. 2 Dexes. Cecil and Simon. Ooh, shit. He sprints all the way up to you, and as he does, he's followed by these creatures, and they think he's trying to get away from them. Each one of them is going to attempt to slash him as he sprints past. The first one, failure. Second one, failure. The third one. Wait a minute, they're all fucking. What the fuck? What the hell? Right. Wait.
No way for them to not be.
No. I've got this. Diddle-a-diddle-a-doo. It's because they've got. There it is. Target 40. It's actually 40. Yep. Sorry about that. 83. They're all going to fail because the target is 40. It literally says it on the character sheet. None of them hit. They're all just like reaching out into the darkness, like rah, rah, as he comes charging down onto the pier. Cecil, what do you want to do? You've unraveled the boat now.
I'm gonna push it out and try and jump in as I'm pushing it off.
All right, give us a jump check.
Jump.
Ooh! You push the boat out and it floats away with her in it, and you take a running jump and you jump straight into the water. The water obviously splashing around everywhere because the storm surrounding you, the waves crashing around you. You get that same feeling again of like something in the water, something like these things coming to get you. But you are like swimming. Well, give us a swim. Oh! The waves crash into your mouth as like the boat starts sailing away from you. Simon, what are you doing?
He didn't take Constance with him, did he?
Constance is on the little boat, and Cecil's in the water. So like Constance is like here, Cecil's like here.
I'm firing at Constance.
Why are you trying to kill him?
He's gone insane!
You fiend.
Alright, that's a success. Constance, as you hear this bang, you're going to be able to take a dodge for this. If you succeed the dodge, then you don't get shot.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Yes!
Nope.
Okay.
Wow.
You literally just duck inside, and as you do, you sort of curl up into a little ball like a baby, repeating all of your fucking knowledge, you know? And you sort of start shivering and crying in this boat. The creatures are, as he stopped to shoot, the creatures are going to try and attack him again. Again, the target is 40.
Before you do that, Jenna.
Yep, they all fail.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So he's farther away, or can I take another shot?
Constance is like floating down. Cecil, make another swim check for me before. I'm going to say you've got 2 more before you drown. Yes, that's a hard success. Cecil, like seeing this shot and seeing her sort of duck down into the boat, his instincts kick in again. He starts kicking and kicking and kicking all the way up to the boat, grabs onto the side of the boat. Alright.
Can I?
Yes.
So, is the boat rubber?
No, it's wooden.
Can I shoot the boat?
You can attempt to shoot the boat. I'm going to say that this will be, to make it shoot in a way that's any way meaningful, to like give it a hole in it, I'll say this is a hard one, so it'll be against half of your number. No, that's a massive failure anyway. You're just shooting out into the darkness, the waves just like, it's the biggest moving target you've ever fucking like tried to shoot up against, because the waves just rocking everywhere.
And as he misses, he's not going to let the creatures take him, and he holds the gun up to his head.
Ooh.
And shoots himself.
Bam! He's out of there. And whew, jeez Louise. Cecil, you're grabbing onto the side of this boat as it's flinging around in the sea. Attempt to climb, please. Oh, you put your little leg over the side and like you tilt the boat, and like she nearly comes rolling out of it, and you realise that you can't get in this without like tipping her over. You're just going to sort of like hold on to the side of the boat best you can as a freezing Atlantic Ocean sort of like takes your sort of bodies. It's like freezing. You feel your heart rate start to slow. And at this point, because you're crying so much, you're sort of crying all of these emotions out, and you start to feel your mind sort of settle a little bit, and you stop saying all of your biology information.
What the heck?
And you notice Cecil holding on, shivering to this boat.
Cecil! Oh, get on, you silly bee. I mean, why are we on a boat anyway? I'm gonna try and lift him into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. How could I do that?
Do a strength check.
Not very strong.
No, you grab hold of his arm and try lifting him, but the weight of him in this water is just sinking him further down. His head submerges under the water a little bit, and then he like comes up again, and you see that like he's shivering. He's had this like headache this whole time. He's like looking up at you with his little eyes, like it looks as though he's like exhausted.
Shit. So he's drowning. Like, is he underwater?
His like head's lolling up in and out of the water.
Oh god.
I think like it's like super sad, but I think like I have to let go. Like I don't want to like capsize the boat.
Mhm.
No, I'm gonna try one more time.
One more failure to get him up will do so.
God. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I gotta let go. I think he kind of looks up, and he kind of like reaching over the boat. He kind of like wiggles his elbow a little bit, and kind of reaches out his hand to kind of like hold her hand.
I take hold of your hand. You shouldn't die.
And he doesn't say anything. He just looks at her. He just looks her in the eyes for a moment, and then he just lets go. He was so tired.
And Cecil slips down into the waves You look out, Constance, like your eyes flitting over the surface of these crashing surf of water. You can't even see a shape anymore. You can't see anything. And the rain lets up a little. And the waves start to settle a little. Until they remain completely still. Like glass.
I'm gonna whip out my little notebook. I'm gonna write down everything I know about these things. And I'm going to name it. I'm gonna name it. Fucking... I don't know, because it's had a very profound impact on my psyche. At this point, I'm going to call them Cecil's Angels.
And you find yourself alone as the boat travels south towards Rockport, where you always wanted to go, leaving everyone behind. You're a shivering, crying mess, and the winds sweep you away. And that is where we will end our session.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was wondering, who was going to be the first to die, but fucking jeez. Wow. What a nightmare. That is a nightmare.
I hope I made that entertaining for everybody, including yourself, Jenna.
Wow, yeah. That was fucking harsh, too. Like, I absolutely love how, scary that got, because Simon being scary was like, wow. Yeah, I think Simon was the scariest bit. With the way that he's, oh, God. Yeah, his sudden resolve to just turn around and just start coming towards the fucking hallway was wow. Anyway, right, okay, I'm still fucking streaming. Alright, okay. Hope you enjoyed the new sort of way, the Call of Cthulhu thing, the fact that we didn't do D&D. And obviously, if you are a Call of Cthulhu person and you're like, that's not how they play, whatever, it's fine, we did our best. And I think we got a pretty cool story out of it. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to remember that, so I think that's the only thing that really matters. But yeah, so, yeah. Goodbye, everyone.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, there he is!
Content just like this.
Uh-huh.
But
I'm sorry, Andrew.
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Hey!
With a little bit more D&D and maybe some more Call of Cthulhu where some people don't kill the other party members. Come back next time, not wannabes.
Hey, goodbye and good night. All right.